when they during the whole pandemic before when they set up that moratorium where they couldn't evict people, and you had some landlords that were pretty upset seeing somebody coming with a new car and a new boat, and this dude ain't paid rent for 3 months, talking about he can't afford it. But he's out here affording all these other things, right? So he basically lived there for free. And remember that landlords they still have to pay for things, right, in order for to maintain their property, right? Property tax, all of that. So that's why they charge rent. So now we got some landlords that have been waiting for revenge, and the second they take that thing off, because rent prices are already through the roof. It's already outrageous as it stands now. Okay, so these people who are already living paycheck to paycheck, using credit cards to pay bills, okay, and run maxing out all of their shits, now they got to worry about some of them already behind on rent, and now rent prices are going to start going up. So people are going to be in for a rude awakening. Like you were saying, the fourth quarter coming up, that's. It looks like that a lot of things might be going down. Now we got to watch and see how it goes, but wouldn't be surprised if they start crashing these things, coming in the fall. Okay, yeah, you were saying something like that. Yeah, yeah. Through the spirit, basically, like you said, the fourth quarter, that's where a lot of spending happens. A lot of companies they go throughout the year and they make the bulk of their money happens during the fourth quarter. You got the holiday, so-called holiday season coming up. You got Thanksgiving, you got Christmas. A lot of people are shopping for that. But this year, you're not going to see that too much because that trend really started dying. You go back, was 2016, 2017. That spirit of the end time, the end of the year festivities was starting to die down. And now it's hitting people's pockets so much they're not going to be able to survive that whole Christmas year. If you're a child at home, you're expecting a whole lot this year, forget about it. Your parents going to hit you with that talk and say, listen, things are pretty bad, just like 08, 09. We were hearing that conversation. The economy's pretty bad right now, so you guys might not be getting no presents this year. So you're gonna be getting a lot of that. Car prices are going out the roof. I saw a video of this guy. He was trying to buy a truck, and he said, "Yo, I got nothing against Dodge or nothing, but this truck over here is $75,000." He said, "Look, bro, that's like the price for a luxury car, like a Beamer or a Mercedes. Now you got trucks going up to $75,000 at the dealership." Because they jacking all the prices up. Yesterday I looked at my internet bill. That shit was $100 something. I'm like, wait, time out. I've been paying 84. It first started at 60 sign. They moved it up to 80 sign. Now it's 100 sign. I looked at it. I'm like, nothing changed except for the bill. What happened here? So I'm about to call them and give them a earful. You see? And you got the car insurance. 2 years for. You got the car insurance. Same thing. You paying a certain amount. All of a sudden they say, oh, this is how much you're gonna pay this month. Wait a minute, no explanation, no actual cost breakdown. They just put it out there and people just go, oh my God, this is my rent, I'm gonna pay for it. Health insurance. Health insurance is at an all-time high. You got people calling for an ambulance, and when they find out what the bill is, they jump off the gurney, like, fuck this. They got this guy who jumped up a gurney and he took off, limping and all that, fell down. And they're like, yo, bro, we're trying to help you. He said, no, I'm good, bro. You're not trying to help me, I'm good. Some dude is complaining about stitches. Like, there's a whole lot going on. And now, bro, so if you want to bring out, some more information on that, they're saying that there might be a ruling, like you said, that there might be a ruling that basically gives your renters immunity to charge whatever the fuck they want. So that's gonna price people out of these houses, man. If you think you can't afford a house right now, your rent is too much, your mortgages are too high, wait till the end of this year. Wait until early into next year. You see, after everything dies down, all the spending goes down, and now it's time to face reality. The winter's cold. Wait till all that happens. And guess who's buying up all these apartment buildings? You got BlackRock in the middle of it. You got Chase, NGOs, yeah, non-governmental organizations are the ones who are really controlling the system as we speak, and they're the ones who are dictating how you're supposed to interact with the power they have. You see, so very soon you in the inner cities are going to be affected by this. All this construction that's happening, renovating and so on and so forth. There's going to be a bait. You know what I'm saying? You got to take this bait in order to live here. You got to take this MOTB in order to qualify for this type of shit. You see? And if you can't qualify, you're going to be outside. And guess what? They're making laws to make it illegal to be outside, to be homeless. So that means you got to be sent to a certain shelter. And that's where the camps come in. The federal camps, known as FEMA camps. They're going to be joining in too. All right? They're going to be administering the fee and so on and so forth. There's a lot that they got planned. It's about to be disseminated very soon. All right? All right.
Yeah, like the brother was saying, anything they do, man, any laws they bring forth, anything that happens in the news, you got to tie it into the master plan, which is to bring forth the Charisma, MOTB. It's all everything that they do, every move that they play, it's all towards that ultimate checkmate that they want to do, which is to set up the MOTB, the mark of the beast system. But right here, this is from the website Jacobin, that's spiritual, Jacobin.com. It says landlords are pushing the Supreme Court to end rent control. Okay, this came out on August 16th, 2023. And it says 2 landlord lobbying groups are petitioning the Supreme Court to overturn New York City's rent stabilization law, which would allow further countrywide challenges to rent control. Real estate billionaires friendly with court justices are backing the move. So it says, as the national housing crisis deepens, corporate lobbyists and conservative groups with ties to 2 Supreme Court justices, billionaire benefactors are pushing the court to let landlords hike rents. So rent stabilization is something that only allows a certain percentage, a certain percentage of the rents to be, or a certain percentage of the actual rent, they can only raise it on a certain percentage basis every year. That's rent stabilization, and rent control keeps the rent the same no matter who's in that apartment. It's a rent control apartment, so it can't change no matter who's in there. So if they strike that down, you're going to have a lot of homelessness. You're going to have a lot of overcrowding, which, you know, the article is going to say it. It says, at issue is a petition from 2 landlord lobbying groups asking the High Court to overturn New York City's rent stabilization law, which has been on the books since 1969 and limits annual rent increases for more than 1 million units in the city.
So what they're trying to do, they're trying to make the people desperate. You know, they're trying to make the people dependent. Remember, you will own nothing and be happy. So if they make the people dependent, then the people are willing to take heed to whatever benefits that the government can provide them. You know, so that's the whole goal of making these things difficult. On top of that, they're hiking interest rates while inflation is going through the roof. And we said this was going to happen years ago, and they said it wasn't. And we told you exactly that, no, inflation is coming, and they said, no, it's not. Then they said it was transitory. And then they said it was going to be a soft landing. Well, so much for that now. And as inflation goes up, they might institute, the second they start putting in price checks, that's it. Forget it. When they start putting them checks on how much businesses can charge for certain items because the inflation is too high, that is a telltale sign that the economy or the country is going down, because the same thing happened in Rome.
And when they set up that situation where you're going to be forced to pay a higher rent, then people are going to be homeless, and then what's going to happen? You're at a disadvantage, and the so-called white man, biblical Edomites, they're going to have a one-up on you. Right? So they'll be able to, we'll give you housing, but you know you need to get this device up in.
Yep. So that's what they're doing. They're trying to bait the people up into this thing, and they're going to get a lot of people. They're going to get a lot of people, man. Number one, you got people that are down for it right now, but you're going to have a lot of people that are not down for it, but they're weak. You know, they're weak, and their weakness is going to get them to take that MOTB, and because of that, they're going to be destroyed. The same weakness that got them to take the juice. Some of them are weak for temptation and desires, and some of them are weak through endurance. Some of them they want to live, they want to continue to live a worldly life. If you ask people that took the drink, all right, today, ask them what their reasons were. Some of them are going to tell you, oh, because they wanted to be protected. Some of them are going to tell you, oh, because they wanted to be able to travel, or they wanted to be able to continue living life and do whatever it is they wanted to do. And some of them are going to tell you because they needed to go to school or they needed to work. And all these reasons are weakness because they couldn't endure. Well, guess what? The same things you're able to do, we're able to do it now. And we didn't have to do it. We just have to endure. So ultimately, when the time comes with the MOTB, see, there's an explicit judgment written in the scriptures for those that take the MOTB. And there's no going around that. There's no escaping that. So if you're weak, you better start strengthening your mind.
Better start praying. Pray that the Lord God. Pray prayer and fasting. That's what the Lord said. He said, watch as well as pray. Because when you're watching and you're seeing these things, what's going to happen is, Lord, I'm seeing the on the horizon, and all I see is trouble. You're going to start, what are you going to do? You're going to start fasting so the Lord can build you up. You know, Lord, I'm seeing these. That's what a reasonable person would do.
Yeah, prudent man looking for into his good.
That's it.
Or see if he won't hide himself.
There you go. You know, but what does a fool do? He walks right into a simple pass on, and what? They're destroyed. They're punished. You see, and that's what's gonna happen because what's happening is you're getting the word of warnings now. We got people that are passing by like there's nothing. We see it all the time. We talk to people all the time, and they don't care. It seems like, yo, bro, like you don't see what's going on. Some of them see it, but they don't think of it as real enough because it hasn't hit them yet.
You know what's the worst part is when they say, well, if I die, I die. Or whatever's going to happen, it's going to happen anyway. And I mean, that's one of the most arrogant things for people to say, because they're the same people. Let a car swerve onto the curb and not even touch it, but just come close enough and see how shook they'll be. Let them see somebody get shot in front of them and see how messed up in the head they'll be, because then they're not speaking in reality. They're
Careful what you wish for.
Yeah, you know, death ain't simple. You know, and there's things worse than death. So that's the thing. People don't think, oh, if I die, I die. Well, it's about how you die. You ever clearly they haven't been in a situation where they wish they were dead. First off, nobody wishes to die. So imagine how bad it's gonna be for you to wish you would take death over whatever situation you're in. They don't think about things like that. You know, people in the time of Jacob's trouble, guess what? People don't, when you get taken and ravished, because the scriptures tell you that, we're gonna go into it. When these women get ravished, first off, the ravishers ain't going, oh, well, I don't wanna be the father, I don't wanna be nobody's baby daddy, so let me pull out. They don't give a damn. You know? So imagine going through Jacob's trouble with morning sickness. Now what? Then you can't eat, you can't clean yourself.
You're injured, right? Because that's what's happening. They say there's these traffickers and shit. They say that there's some of these women that are being used, they're being bought out and used multiple times a day. There was a story I heard. This lady, she was getting used about 120 times a day. A day. Like, yo, you got no spirit at that point. They're fucking all out of you.
They're hollow. Yeah. And that's the type of shit that these people don't realize when they open their mouths and they say these things. Because the scripture said every idle word shall be, you know, you're gonna have to give an account for it. So when that time comes, maybe a death angel might be there to fulfill your request. Huh? Oh, it's not so bad, huh? Oh, it's not so bad. Let me show you how not so bad it is. Well, let's get what you got. Let's get it. A bit more. Okay.
It says Samuel Stein, a housing policy analyst at the Community Service Society, an anti-poverty organization in New York, said that if the Supreme Court were to overturn the rent stabilization law, it's the end of New York City.
Oh shit! This place now. On top of that, they got this problem with migrants. You know, they say the migrants are they taking over everything. You know, they going up into places, and they saying that some of these people are coming from drug cartels and foreign countries, gangs and shit, and they come here posing like, yo, you know, they just need some shit, and then they start infiltrating. So next thing you know, you walking down your block, you're like, who the fuck is this? You know, you got a whole group, they just there looking. So hermano, you know.
Hey, and even the mayor of New York City even said it. He said, yeah, oh man. He said, hey, very soon, he said, you know, our public spaces are being overpopulated, so very soon your personal residence is gonna have to be a home of abode for these people to come in.
Somebody needs to find that nigga, man.
He's like, you know, the churches are, you know, overflowed, so soon, you know, you New York residents, you're gonna start opening up your doors, be more hospitable, and have some of these people come in and live with you. Hey,
oh,
you know what I'm saying? What is this?
I'm paying rent for somebody to come up in here and eat my food.
They're going to use that crisis in order to say, well, we need to track all these people that are just dispersed out here. And we'll set you up. We'll pay the landlords to give you the housing at a nice price, because the way the government budgets work, they got to spend an exorbitant amount of money to renew that budget next year. So they got to be wasteful on purpose, which is retarded. But they're going to already set it up to where, okay, all these migrants coming in, landlords, you got space now. We kicked all these other regular American citizens are going to be taking the back seat to, you know, people from other countries. And hey, man, people are going to lose it in that.
Hell yeah. Imagine your daughter gets assaulted by somebody. First off, you already are, conservative Edomite. And your daughter gets assaulted by a migrant. Man, these dudes ain't gonna want to hear shit. You know, and they're gonna tell you that's why they want Trump up in here, because he was trying to build a wall, right? And then they got Biden in there who said leave the shit wide open. You know, but you know what else is the spirit? The Lord got the spirit on them to be coming up in here, because majority of them coming in here are Israelites of the various tribes. And when the Lord brings them in here, guess what? Some of them gonna end up in FEMA camps, right? Like it says in Jeremiah, such as are for the sword to the sword. to the captivity, for death to death, from famine to famine. So some of them are coming in here to be a part of the great judgment. Because you're gonna come up in here, then they're gonna lock shit down, and then the Lord's gonna judge your ass in here.
But Rex 84 is based on that.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's based on that. It says it's based on
the influx of those migrants.
Right, exactly. That it was based on the influx of migrants coming in. It opens up the way for them to come in and start arresting people.
And that's why they're gonna use the FEMA camp. That's it. Because Rex 84 tells you they have these facilities set up already. And they have personnel in there. And
it's already fully functioning.
Yeah, the trigger for that, like you said, it tells you in Rex 84 that the trigger was migrants coming from Central America, South and Central America. So we at that point.
Oh, they also came out with a law, Supreme Court ruling. This was I believe 2021, and they said that anyone who's living in a 100-mile radius of any ports, all right, they could come take you out. The feds could come and take your ass out. And they said that includes not just when they said border, they're not talking about just East Coast, West Coast, South and North. They're talking about if you're close to a airport, that's considered a border because that's the land before you go to a different land. So that's also a border. So if you live in any 100-mile radius of any border, when you look at it, most of the population is all circled around. The inner of America is not really as populated as outside of it. Because you have East Coast, West Coast, South and North, not really so much in the middle. That's why you got Missouri and all these different states. They use those lands as their underground bunkers and all that shit because most people are not living there. But the outskirts of the country is where you have mostly of JCAP. So they said, look, we're just gonna push people towards the outskirts of the country, and then we're gonna come in and do what we gotta do. You know what I'm saying? Those 15-minute cities that they got planned and all that is really them using these artificial weapons to push the population to different parts of the land, and they come in and they control that shit. You see? So it's all being done by design. It's been happening since the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, but now all those plans are being made manifest. Back in the 80s, when you're reading about these plans, you look like, these are conspiracy theories. They say by 2021 they're gonna be doing this. No, that's not gonna happen. That's too far out. Well, guess what? We're here. Right? We're here and we're living these things. It's all being played out in front of us. And it seems like we're the only ones who can actually pinpoint these things and give that warning and say, hey, these things are written in the scriptures. This is what's going to happen next. But most people are not paying attention.
Yeah, I saw a post that said everybody owes their conspiracy theory friend an apology. Yeah. There's more than that.
Last couple sentences said, rents would go up significantly around the city. He continued. There will be a tremendous amount of displacement. You will have a lot of people leaving New York City. You will have a lot of homelessness. You'll have a lot of overcrowding.
Mm-hmm. And guess what? Then the government's going to have to do something about that, right? Of course they are, because they're the ones who set it up. They want to be in a position where they got to do something about it. You know what I mean? That's the problem, reaction, solution. They got the solution ready, but see, they work in reverse. It's not okay, there's a problem, let's find a solution. There's a solution, let's create a problem that's tailored specifically to this. So you ever wonder how it is that they came out with a Vanessa within 6 months? Because they had the solution on deck.
Lenny's already created one.
He said it. And people are not having it at all. They're gonna see some major uproars, man. Like the Lord said, right? Nation rising up against nation, kingdom against kingdom. And we already seen wars and rumors of wars. So things are getting intensified.
I believe there's an article that I saw. I didn't really go into it, but I saw the headline. It was saying that Russia just activated their nuclear
intercontinental.
Yeah. So they're already ready to press that button. They're ready to go. So all the Lord got to do is send that signal and let's get this thing popping. And that's a few months from now. You see what I'm saying? They're saying that NATO is planning to do some type of actual attack in the spring. Yeah, against Russia and then blame it on Russia. I'm like, how the fuck is that even gonna work? Well, they've been doing it, Ukraine and all that, right? Propaganda and everything. But we got it. Oh, when did they say that this rule is going to take place?
September.
Of course.
And it's getting hot. And then what's going to happen? It's getting ready for that so-called dark winter that they've been talking about for all these months, all these years.
Black Swan
events and all that. They showed a clip, real eerie clip. A real eerie clip of a dude who was dressed like a woman. And he was dancing on stage, performing like he was doing some type of performance in front of mad people watching, and as the performance is going on, the motherfucker's turning into a black swan.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So he's doing the dancing, the theatrics, and all that, and the people are like, ooh, oh, clapping. And then at the end of it, he fully transitions into a black swan, and he stands right there, boom, in front of everyone. And the lights go on. Yeah, and the lights go on. Okay. I said, oh shit. We saw it. Well, looking at it, I said, oh, there's a subliminal message to that. But the rest of the people, yeah, it looks like an art form. Nah, that's how they get you, man.
Remember that they have to. I think it's in one of their laws that they gotta inform the people of what they're gonna do. It's a part of their witchcraft.
The art of the method.
Yeah. Before they do it, they gotta let them know. You know, and pretty much that's kind of like mimicking the right hand side, right? Because Amos 3:7, surely the Lord will do nothing, but He revealeth His secret unto His servants the prophets. So now let's go into that. What you got, Zechariah?
All right, it's the book of Zechariah.
Yeah.
This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 14, starting at verse 1. It says, behold, the day of the Lord Yahweh cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. That's the first verse. Verse 2. For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished.
Yeah, and that links up with Isaiah 13. Which we can go into that too, right? It says the houses shall be rifled. 2nd Ezra 15. They're gonna be breaking up into these homes, right? And the women ravished. When you look up ravished, modern day terms means they're gonna be taken, raped by force, and they ain't gonna like it, right? And read that again.
It says, for I will Zechariah 14 and verse 2. For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished.
Now, when you read in Isaiah, it says, and their wives ravished. Okay, so you're gonna have women that so-called don't have husbands, and women that so-called have husbands that are gonna be getting ravished. Go on.
It says, and half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city.
Yeah. So pretty much when you read it in Zechariah, a lot of chapters in Zechariah put in a very metaphorical, poetic form. Okay, but it's emphasizing that you're gonna have people getting sent to the captivity. Now, what's an example of the captivity? These camps. All right, these camps that they're gonna carry people off and send them into. And you ain't gonna have a choice that we did. Watch that. The boy in the striped pajamas. I think that's what it's called. And it was about the JJs. You know, apparently it was about the JJs, you know, back in Germany and stuff. And you had two boys. One was the son of one of the generals, and the other one was a JJ that was behind the fence. You know, and he was wearing like a striped pajamas. You know, and basically they became friends. You know, and then ultimately, you know, they would play with the behind the fence. They would play games and shit like that. And then one day it was time, because what they were doing was they were broadcasting the field camps as getaways, like a vacation and stuff like that. You know, yeah, for the JJs. So whenever they were gonna get up in there, then they'll find out that that's not really what it is. But I think at the end they ended up gassing them up, you know, in the gas chambers, and then the kid got mad because his friend died and shit, you know, and all of that. But once again, his friend was only able to get out because of him. They would get out and play together and shit. But once you ended up in that camp, you ain't getting out. You know, lest the Lord be with you, you ain't getting out that camp. So such as are for the captivity, a lot of people gonna die in that captivity. Now, if the Lord is with you, you might either be a martyr or you might get delivered out of there. Maybe the Lord might put you in there to get somebody out. You know, like the Lord did with Paul and Silas. The reason He had them get arrested over there was so that they could meet that centurion, and then they could convert them. So really, the Lord ended up taking them over there for that very reason. And so you might end up in a FEMA camp, not because the Lord hates you, or it might be because the Lord hates you, but you might end up in there because the Lord He needs you to do a certain task.
Need it. Yeah, you need it. That's why the scriptures tell you, Isaiah 33:6, it says that wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and there's the strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is His treasure. So ultimately, if you believe that you're a servant of the Lord, no matter what situation you're going to be in, you have to have faith that the Lord is going to deliver you from it. Right? That's part of the reason why we're here in the first place. That Lord, ultimately, all this stuff we're going through, is going to deliver us when your son comes back. So if you end up in a FEMA camp, or you end up in some type of a tough place or some type of strait, It's some type of strength, right? You got to keep the faith that, oh, how about you? How shy is going to deliver me, right? It's not for no reason. I'm not here because the Lord want to put me here to be destroyed, right? You might get tortured, whatever it is, but guess what? Maybe the Lord might put a spirit on you to show strength for some elect who might be in there. Somebody might see you, they might hear something you say. You might be standing there, you might be praying to yourself, and somebody might hear you and be like, yo, how about you? Oh, shit, yo, you said what? Oh, wow, that's spirit. Hey, you said something about this. I remember you, right? Yo, I believe the same thing. I don't know how we ended up here, but I've been telling my family, yo, this is going to happen. I used to watch videos. Yo, I used to watch your videos, you know? And the Lord, that might boost your spirit. And be like, oh, shit, I'm not even here alone, Lord. Hey, I got somebody who's here. You know what? Let me help you out. Sometimes you might be in a very low state, but when you see a brother or a sister or somebody who's with you, who's in a lower state, it gives you more strength to help them out. You forget all about the weakness that you're going through because you're like, yo, I got to muster up some strength to help this person out. You see, and that could just help both of you. Hey, the scriptures tell you in the book of Proverbs that 2 is better than 1 because when one falls down, the other can pick him up. You see, so it's always good to have that spirit of, you know what? I might be here alone. It might seem like I'm alone, but I'm not alone as long as Yahweh is alive. And that's an opening for me to help somebody else out. You see, so I'm here for a reason. So we got to think of it that way. And the Lord is always going to provide. You see?
Right. I like to say, you think about the story of Daniel, right? The Lord scripture says that the things written aforetime will bring for our learning, right? So the story of Daniel, you actually look at it from the perspective of somebody that was there, right? Daniel was literally thrown into a lion's den with everybody expecting him to be eaten. But when they came back, Daniel was there just chilling. So now you have the perspective of the story from Daniel's perspective, and you have it from the third person's perspective. Daniel actually, people thought Daniel was about to just like the next day he's going to find his carcass is gone. He can't come back. He was like, oh no, the Lord basically provided. He got food, right? Because we learned in the Bell and the Dragon, that he actually had an angel send a whole nother prophet to him to send him food, and then the lions, they didn't even touch him. So in Daniel's perspective, he actually just experienced a miracle. So us being in captivity, people from the outside would be like, yo, why are y'all just chilling? Y'all not even upset. Y'all not even like nothing wrong with y'all. Y'all just in prison. Y'all just chilling. I was like, oh yeah, no, because like we have brothers food. The lions, they just chilling. I ain't bothered, they ain't bothered. So what's the problem? I don't gotta work no more. I ain't in hell, I ain't gotta work. I'm good right now. And that's like I just say, oh, this should my chosen be known. Like Lord said, I'll be with you. So that's how we're gonna feel that peace, that sense of peace where everything just going chaotic. Lord willing, we be those men. And people gonna see that. Some of the Lord might have, hey, with Paul, right? Peter was it? Angel came and like delivered them. So it's like, yo, we're gonna literally gotta read these things, but we gotta actually remember the Lord's gonna put us in those type of situations, and we're going to receive those same type of deliverances, those same type of spiritual divine intervention, to where we're gonna literally be at peace. We're literally gonna be at like, oh, hey, I'm good, and we're gonna be serving, praising the Lord's name even more during that time. Like, and in the midst of a concentration camp, just imagine how hyped we'll be. We get hyped now when it's so small days. Like, oh, like how much? We get hyped now by ourselves. We have actual like food manifest, an angel come. We see lions and they just chilling, looking at us. We're gonna know that's immediately the Lord, and that name's gonna be even reverenced even more. They're like, oh, who the Yahweh Bash? Why you keep saying that? Yahweh did this. Yahweh said this. That name's going. That's how it's gonna be like. Who is this God? And it's going to be answered more and more and more. So he just manifests. That's him.
There it goes.
That's him.
The lesson, the countdown has begun. So
yeah,
like you said,
so his name.
That's what it is. That's it.
Yahweh Shai did this. But who's that? Who is that? Oh,
there it goes.
Love them who love his appearing. Nobody else is going to be waiting for that. It's going to be a dark day. It's going to be. It says it's going to be. Who shall? Who said what? Woe is you that desires the day of the Lord. What is this for you?
We hoping to be delivered out of it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I believe Daniel got thrown up in there twice. The first time with Darius, and the second time with Cyrus, where he got fed by Habakkuk.
Gone.
So, here we go. You know what I'm saying? I've been here before.
Hey, I believe there's an account where Daniel actually said that the angels came and closed the mouth of the lions. That's why they didn't eat them. You know, so I'm like, oh shit. Well, we always gotta remember the Lord has power over the elements
And the animal.
and the animals. Like you could be in a freezing cold temperature, the Lord could just put a spirit on you where you're not being cold. What's it, brother? Winter soldier, right? They be mad. Got a light ass sweater on. You like, how the fuck you surviving? He just be like, I'm just, you know, the Lord can do that. He controls the elements.
Or like the three holy children. But that's two perspectives, right? Because when you read the one in the book of Daniel, it tells you the external perspective, but in the prayer of Azariah, it tells you what was actually going on in the middle of the fire. That's about it.
Can I bring it a quick piece up real quick? This is the book of, matter of fact, I'm gonna start at 4. This book of Exodus, chapter 19, verse 4. It said, "Ye have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, which were present rulers at the time, and how I bear you on eagle's wings and brought you unto myself." And then verse 5 is where it gets good. "Now therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people." And that's the point. For all the earth is mine.
Well, you said the earth is his footstool.
No.
So,
Word. Feet up.
Got control of it all. Yeah, but like in that precept that we're gonna get, they were rejoicing in the fire.
Yeah.
Now, how the hell you go into fire? And that's why the book of Ezra was fucked out. Because he's asking his people, hold up.
They put him in there, right?
I know we threw 3 people in there. Why do I see 4? Why the 4th one look like an angel? And then when they came out, they said, look, when they came out, if you weren't there, you wouldn't believe they got thrown in fire. Because it said the hair wasn't singed. It didn't smell like they came out of fire.
That's great. That's wild.
So the angels fire was so hot that the flames I put them in there. When they opened that thing.
And Lord like, oh yeah, nah. Oh, that's what okay. Just because y'all confess my name, let me show you something real quick. Let me show you something real quick. Go on fire. He said that it was turned up 7 times more than normal. Yeah. Completion. So it's gonna be turned up on us as well 7 times. Completion.
That can see the level. And it was what was it? They didn't bow down to the image, right? It's the same in the men. The Lord said he has reserved unto himself 7,000 men that would have bowed their knee unto the image of Baal. We see that image being built right now.
Yeah.
You see, so it's the same spirit, worshiping the image of the beast. We're the only ones standing up and saying we're calling you out for what this is, and it's all going to fail in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And he's going to use his men to make his name manifest. He's going to use his men to show his power. You see, and that's the thing. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is a power, just straight up power, bro. And you got to understand that. But see, the world doesn't understand that. They don't get that.
Yo, and the name of the Lord is so insignificant right now. Look at what we're doing. We're like literally making ourselves fools. We're on the street corner,
right.
Just like in a corner, and it's talking about Yahweh. Like Yahweh.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Nobody even knows. Like nobody's trembling that.
But you said Jesus, you would have turned.
Right. Yeah, Jesus. Yeah. Praise him. But we're saying the actual name of the living God, and nobody even like listens to that. And then Lord be like, oh, I'm gonna make my name known on earth.
What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? See, when you said Yahweh, lightning came down, boom, you powered up. Then they go, yo.
But that's going to go to the faith 2 part. The faith that we have now, we have to deal with the faith part. You know what I'm saying? That's
because he's not actually manifesting his fear on us, but we're just fear of his name. For his name's sake. That's why we do what we do. Because the Lord hasn't, he has done small things, but like, there's not to be something significant. Like, this is why right now you should fear me. Right. But we fear him because of his word and through Yahweh Shah. And then that's when the Lord said, because you have kept the faith, you kept the faith in my name, you feared my name, then I'm going to make you known. I'm going to make my name known upon the earth while the world shall fear me.
Real quick, I got you. That's why Yahweh said, I've made thy name manifest amongst unto the believers, right? So that if you say Yahweh and there was actually somebody who was a believer walking by, they're going to have the real effect. Oh, Yahweh, hey.
Right. Yep.
Jeremiah 5:22. Fear ye not me, saith Yahweh. Will ye not tremble at my presence, which have placed the sand for the bound of the sea by a perpetual decree?
It said, tremble at my presence. The Lord's presence is in everything. Because he just said, because I have placed the bounds of the sand of the sea. When you actually look at a beach, the fact that you see all of that water
and then there's a certain point where the water just stops and like, yo, I can't go past this. And like nothing's actually like there's not a barrier there. The water's just like, yo, I just can't go there. Anyway, it's always going just like, no, I can't go there. The Lord said, I made the water. I made the water say, nah, don't go that far. Like, I got a bounds that I can't pass. Like that's my presence. That's his presence. Like, and everything is Yahweh. But nobody fears that. He said, fear you not me. But look what I'm doing. I make sound come out of the sky. Like sound is like boom. Light sound.
Electricity in the sky.
In the sky.
Oh, he has a firmament that blocks the ocean, the water that's above from the water from touching us. Like what?
I ain't think of that.
As hot as the sun is, it's all these rays of fire coming down, but it's at a perfect point to not kill and just give life.
Except for Esau.
Yeah, right.
Every day.
Yeah, you say what? He's cursing the earth.
The ones in my curse.
He's cursing the earth.
Yo, how you curse from the earth and you supposed to be ruling over the earth? So even the earth that you're supposed to be ruling over, that's cursed against you. Right? That's cursed against you. So there's nothing you can do. Like it tells you in the book of Job, I believe the 14th chapter, the Lord said He's created the bounds that He cannot pass. That means your rulership is for a limited time. Your power is for a limited amount. You can't go past that time, man. That's you trying to. What you're trying to do right now is you're rebelling against what the Lord has already instituted for you to do. You're trying to say, no, I am the Most High. I'm going to be on the top. Now, this time, I'm going to create life. I'm going to destroy what the Creator has done. I'm going to tell the people that there is no Creator, and I'm going to be the God on the earth. That's impossible. It's impossible. For you to be the Most High, for you to be a God on this earth, you got to be outside of the reality in which we're living. But you are part of this reality, bro.
Yeah,
the Lord
is trying to create an augmented reality.
There you go. Exactly.
God of that reality.
Right. So He's trying to create His own world so He can control that. In order for you to control this world, you got to be outside of it.
Right.
You got to be outside of time, matter, all that stuff. The Heavenly Father is outside of all of it. That's why He can determine what happens next and so on and so forth. You see? So Esau, you got nowhere else to go.
Ancient of days.
The Ancient of Days.
Everybody lives in a day.
Yeah.
Lord said, nah, I created your environment to live in. I created your time. I'm outside of that.
But it says, will ye not tremble at my presence, which have placed the sand for the bound of the sea by a perpetual decree that it cannot pass? It's a perpetual decree. That's everywhere you go. That's why you got beaches all throughout the earth, because all of the water everywhere got the same order. Where there's sand at, you can't go past that. Wherever there's sand, that's where you stop. that's the order of the water.
No matter how strong the waves might look,
Right.
No matter where it's at.
few feet outside, a few yards out, by the time it gets over here to the land, it's going to flow slow and then sort of go right back into its place. That's insane, bro. That's insane. But that's all the creation of the Heavenly Father, all done by design for a reason. And Esau studies all these reasons, and when you sit back and you actually go into it, the intricacies of these details, the only thing you can do is marvel. Like, wow, bro, you created all this, you did all this. The elements like fire, for example, how does fire work? Land, water, all these different things that we take for granted because it's always around us until it's not there anymore. Then you really start thinking about how important it is. But damn, Lord, you created all this and you created a human being to need these things that He has dominion over. Like how? Like I have power over this, but I still need it. Like, hey, that's why the Most High is so important, because He doesn't have need of us, but we need Him. You see what I'm saying? Like without the Most High, we're nothing. But yet He doesn't really. He's created everything for us and says, "Here, have dominion over this. I'm gonna be having power over you. I'll give you everything you need, but you're gonna have dominion over this. You have power over this, but you need the things that you have power over." That's amazing. You see what I'm saying? It's self-sustainable on its own, except for this devil. That's why Esau gotta go. You see, that's why he gotta go, man. And go back to what we were talking about earlier about how He's created this fraudulent world, all this deception, all this bullshit. Esau, he's going fucking down. All right,
Right.
He's going down.
Right.
Your time is up. You're going down. All right.
Hey, that's why the scripture says sustainable. Not scriptures. Esau's going with the sustainable development.
Right.
That whole 2030 agenda. Sustainable meaning what? It sustains itself.
Yep.
The way the earth is supposed to be ran is it actually is alive, so it sustains itself. But Esau being the curse from the earth, he actually is destroying the earth.
the things of the actual earth that sustains everything, because everything comes from the earth. Everything that life comes from the earth. So it actually is supposed to be literally a sustainable circle. But Esau is actually like he's breaking that circle. And he's destroying everything. And that's why the scripture says you destroy him, which destroyed the earth. And if you destroy the earth, then you destroy life.
If you destroy the days, that shall no flesh be saved.
You literally destroy the earth, which will be life.
We can't live
We
without
can't live.
They say now this devil's talking about global warming to global boiling, and they said that the oceans are being boiled
Forever
up. Forever chemicals, yeah, exactly. They got the oceans boiling up now. They get hotter than they've ever been before. I'm like, yo, you're gonna get all the cool life,
Tell
bro.
me, hold on. The earth been on since Adam, all the way up until this nigga came up into power. Within this span of less than 1,000 years, all of a sudden the earth is in global boiling.
You done fucking up,
Bruh,
you done fucking up that bad in a short amount of time.
that's crazy.
You got forever. No, forever is a long time. You don't even know forever, nigga. We gonna fucking shut up in your kingdom. Like, that's the pride of him. That's how you know, like, the way that we gotta renew the earth is not have to be from divine.
Yeah.
Because Esau is saying, like, if anybody controlled the earth the way we did, they got to the height and power, they forever fucked it up. To where no technology here can ever fix what we did. There's no technology, no power can fix the shit that we did to the earth. And that's why the Lord said, like, yo, I'm gonna have to literally I have to cleanse it, bring the fire, heavenly fire, cleanse it, and then I'm gonna have a divine order on the earth in order to fix this shit, man. They said they got the space debris.
Yeah.
Nigga,
Yeah.
first of all, the waters, you fucked up the actual waters on the earth. You gonna fuck up the waters. You gonna fuck up the waters in heaven? You know, waters, you need water to live, nigga. Like, you trying to fuck up the actual the Lord's house.
Yeah.
Like, you went outside of this mansion. You said, "I'm gonna fuck up that. Let me just go put space, put the garbage in space."
I have a quick thing. If I may make a quick point, but I seen this video on social media of this lady. She took rainwater. It was raining. She took the rainwater and then she put tap water. She had equal cups. She let it rain, fill up that cup, and she put tap water in the other cup. And she put some kind of device. I don't know what that shit was. I want to say a filter or whatever, but she put it in the rainwater and she put it in the tap water. And I forget how much time went by, but over the time, it was just like mad, weird looking shit in the tap water, yo. It looked disgusting. Disgusting. Like, yo, disgusting. And everybody like commented, yo, this shit looks crazy. Like, I'm talking about it was multicolored, it was lumpy, it was this, it was that, it was like some weird shit. I'm showing brothers that shit, because like that shit really like, because you know, there's a thing about tap water, like that's a major thing that's killing Jake. You know, that was the thing, like, you ain't can't pour no water, you gotta drink tap water.
And this guy, Eric Adams, talking about drinking tap water.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yo, but you know it's the spirit, right? Because the rainwater didn't look like the tap water.
Nah, it was stay clear.
So more than, like, I mean, obviously you saw claims he has like filtration systems for the tap water, but if you really think about it, the Lord got a natural filtration system because what they call the water cycle or whatever, where it goes through evaporation, you got runoff or whatever, then evaporation, and then it forms in the clouds, and then it comes back down again, right? So that's a natural filtration, you know, because that evaporation that goes up when the water comes back down, you know, the liquid evaporates. So you have urine, you have all of these things, but yet when it comes down as rainwater, it's still clean.
Oh, and that's why he's putting the fucking barium aluminum.
The chemtrails and stuff.
Oh, you're putting that in the sky to fuck up the waters.
Yeah.
That's why when it rains,
Yo,
you have this
guy's
clear,
crazy.
you know, smell. Like whenever it rains, because the water purifies the land.
Yeah, ozone gets from ozone.
Exactly. You know, especially when you wake up in the morning and you go to like a mountainous area, you get the purest form of oxygen. Why? Because overnight, what happens is during the daytime, we have all this energy, all this people, carbon dioxide, everything that goes on, and of course, there's sunlight. So at night, the trees they've taken up all the sunlight, and they've soaked up the water and all the carbon and everything. So overnight, they process it. So during the morning, the sun comes up again, they start releasing these things. So in the morning, you get that fresh breeze, and then later on, the sun starts beaming up and it starts getting warmer and warmer. The air quality drops. You see, by in the morning time is when you get the purest form of air quality. And I was like, yo, I was kind of like observing it, not really studying too much, but just observing how things really are. I did it for like a month. And I was, checking when it rained, go outside after the morning, see how it is, and so on and so forth. You could notice the difference. You know, you feel the fresh air. Your body changes. You feel the difference. And then when you go down, you know, the air gets a little cooler. When you go down towards the inner cities where there's more people, it's more densely populated, there's less trees, you can feel the air quality changing, man. So you got a lot more carbon dioxide surrounding people, and they got to live off of that. All these people here, that's why there's so much sicknesses down here. You couple that with the food, the medication, all this poison and all that, the water, like you mentioned, it's straight up death, man. And that's what they're pushing on you so-called jigs. You know what I'm saying? So we need an ethnic cleansing. You have to have an ethnic cleansing. Because like the elder was saying, they're spraying chemtrails in the heavens is affecting the clouds. When it rains down, it's all poisons. You see what I'm saying? Nowadays, when it rains, I put on a hoodie so it doesn't touch my skin. Because it seeps into your pores and it causes all these cancer and all these different things, man, over time. You see? Chemicals, metals, and so on and so forth. You got detox, water shit. What the fuck kind of life is this, man?
That's why you have a lot of children with a lot of elements. Autism. Like even their bone structure is not even like as dense. I was telling them coming up here, I was like, even like my son, because the way our generation was the last generation saying that was actually out and playing, and like on parks and shit. You don't really see kids doing that no more. And I was talking with my son, I would like race him, right? You would think like somebody that's younger, they would have more energy. I would race, we would run outside and race, and he'll keep running, and then he'll get tired to the point where you have to like actually sit down. Or I need water. I'm like, yo, you 9 years old. It's like, I need water. I'm like, why? Like, why is this happening? It's because the way that society life is, and like the actual the earth. Because remember, we're talking about the earth is being destroyed. We come from the earth, so like the actual humans are becoming weaker. Like children are becoming weaker. Their bodies, their immunizations are all becoming weaker through the way that Esau is building society. And on top of that, he's putting all this death in the air and in the food and the water. So actual humans are not as strong as they were even in our. We're seeing it. Like even from our generation till the next generation, it's like, yo, y'all just mad frail. Like even these little young kids, they just mad at nobody really got like muscle like meat on your bones. Like I have been little skaters, little punks, like mad skinny and shit. They're linky. Like you don't got no real like meat. Like how you gonna defend yourself or anybody?
I got a precept for you. This is Isaiah 40 and 30. It says, even the youths shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fall.
There you go. Yeah, like that's literal, man. Like these little kids, man. They're like, but it's not like I said. It's the actual because it's the way that Esau is conditioned the earth. Like kids don't want to go outside and play. They want everybody just tap into technology. They don't want to interact socially. And like the actual things that they're eating isn't nutrients to their bodies, so they're actually a little malnutritious. They're malnutritious without actually looking like they're malnutritious. They're malnourished. Malnourished. There you go. They're malnourished.
And that's why the scripture says, "Blessed women shall be monsters." That's why you have a lot of these deformities with these children nowadays. You know, because of number one, the things that they're putting into their bodies. You know, first off, when a woman is pregnant and she has a child, there are specific things that she should and should not do. But in today's society, that goes all out the window. They eating McDonald's, they smoking, some of them doing drugs, you know, all of these different things. How do you think that's going to affect the child? The child is directly connected to
taking the juicy
juice. Yep. Boosters.
I have the testimony of those two things I just mentioned. I drive this lady every day. She said her mother was pregnant. When her mother was pregnant with her, the whole time she drank alcohol every day, and she still drinks every day to this day. And before she told me that, I was like, yo, this bitch is like always like bugging. She's like really bugging. Initially, it was a demon, ultimately, but it's like, yo, it's got to be an explanation as far as the flesh. So when she told me, she's like, yeah, my mother was pregnant. When my mother was pregnant with me, she drunk every day. I was like, yo, that's why you always acting like you're drunk. Because like you said, if your mother was pregnant with you and she's stuffing down wine every day, what is that? That's the umbilical cord going right to your brain. And she said when she was born that it was so much blood from her that wasn't supposed to be there. Like the blood, it was like, you know, too much blood. That was like, yo, because that's just probably all that garbage she was eating or she was drinking. And it said she has learning disabilities, all that. She's permanently fucked. And I was like, yo, your mother dead. Your mother like screwed you.
That vessel.
Yeah,
that spirit,
the spirit in that vessel, right?
But imagine how much wicked spirits are out now because everybody's
fucked up. And like these demons, like the women that are having children now, their bodies just completely fucked up, bringing forth monsters. GMOs, like the air we're breathing. So it's like that's why you got so much wickedness on earth, because nobody's actually living up for the lost lives.
There's a book of Second Ezra, chapter 14, and verse 17. It says, yeah, you know that, right? It says, "For look how much the world shall be weaker through age, so much more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein." So going back to the point that brothers is making, what I'm saying, and also too, it's the philosophies, right? The philosophies are also making people weaker, because I remember even at our age, you had a philosophy of being a young man. You had to be strong. You had to find out what are things that will make you strong. That's just what it was: mental strength, physical strength, spiritual strength, all these different things. You take herbs to keep you up and so on and so forth. Now people don't even think of these things. Weakness has become the norm. Being weak, being sensitive, being effeminate is like a thing that everybody wants to be. It's like, oh, my feelings should be considered because of this. Nigga, we got a bigger problem to be worried about. You talking about your feelings?
Bro, the Lord got it so bad. We got men who represent strength are now women.
Yeah.
Like I went out with my eat yesterday, and I was in a spot, and there was an actual whole. First off, I haven't seen it one person. My girl, the white basketball, she was like, my girl was like, I don't even know why men want to wear heels. I don't even know why men wear heels. I don't even like wearing heels. So there was a man was wearing heels walking by, and I seen another spot. I'm like, yo, you see that thing right there? That's a god. And the thing had on a whole like jumpsuit. When I wear like a spandex jumpsuit.
Oh,
Yeah, the spandex jumpsuit, one piece with the hair, all that. I'm like, yo, that's a guy. I'm like, yo, this is normal. Like nobody's looking at this thing like, yo, this is what the fuck is going on. Like this feels actually like I'm in my element right now. I'm in my vibe. And I'm like, yo, we think about when we read the scriptures like 2,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago, we talk about the ancient men of old, right? To the Lord, that was only 4 days ago, 3 or 4 days ago. It's like, yo, you see what I did like in 3 or 4 days? Like, look how bad this shit gets. Look how bad this shit got underneath Esau. The faces of men.
Yeah, I saw a similar thing today. Probably the same nigga. I'm like, I stopped at a red light and it turned green, so I'm about to step and drive. And the nigga is so weird. He decides, oh, there's traffic. I'm gonna jump in the middle of traffic, so everybody has to stop to see me passing the street, bro. And he got the wig on, the hair, and brolic ass dude.
Oh, you saw the two dudes on the way
On the yeah, we saw 2 dudes. The man's got chest hair and everything with a black dress, walking with his man's with a little small dog.
So you see the teacher that had the Z cup prosthetic implants?
I see that.
Google that. There's a transformer teacher in high school that over the summer got Z cups, prosthetic implants. Z cup.
Cartoon type shit.
Yeah. You see this, and the school district said that we can't do anything about this because we don't discriminate against any creed, sexual orientation, or any. Yo, the nigga's nipple, whatever you want to call it, is literally protruding out. Like it's like 3D, like it should come out. And this is what's teaching the children.
They spawning demons out here.
This is what's teaching the children. That's a man.
That's a man, yeah, I seen it. That was a big controversy. And then he still had to let him teach.
And he still gotta let them teach. So this is what's actually teaching the children, like teaching children now. This is what society is becoming in this age. It's like, yo, you want to bring children into this? So now you think about it, all right, well, the elect men, some men do got children, and I'm more fearful. That's what I'm gonna say. Like, woe is you that got children. I'm more fearful of my child than like a brother that don't got children. Like, yo, he's like having children is supposed to be a blessing. So brothers do get the feeling like, yo, man, I don't got no seed, but then you look at the earth and like, I don't want to bring no seed. I feel more blessed not having children here than to have children here. And it's like, yo, my child grows up getting taught by this.
That's smart. You can't do
And I can't even do nothing. Because now they got this whole thing where children really call like gender affirming. So like the states now, if your child wants to go and be called like you got a boy, your child wants to be called a girl, they have to be called by those pronouns in the actual schools don't have to tell your parents that they're basically changing up when they go to school.
So you just gonna be at home. Your son
You won't even know. So you're gonna be at home. It's gonna be a daughter at school, and at home it's gonna be your son. And you won't even know because there's this laws to protect the children from their sexual affiliation preferences.
Oh, wait a minute. It said so if your son, you have a son, and he want to be switching, dressing like a girl, he can go to school. Basically like living
Double lives. Yeah, and the school doesn't have to inform the parent that their child is now a girl at school.
Damn.
Remember, that's where your child spends most of the day. Yeah. Most of the things that you know more. I remember more of being in school growing up than being with my parents.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's their life. That's what life is, and they're actually allowing that. They're actually promoting it. They got councils, they got little groups, school groups of the switchers, like all these different things. You got councilmen, you got senators, you got all these people that are now actually transformers that are making laws. Like this is life. This is the type of actual life that Esau has created. This has to be the last generation.
This is it. That's why they call them Gen Z, and then the next generation after they call them Gen Alpha. I've been hearing this shit. I'm like, Gen Alpha where? Gen Alpha where? You want
I think it was Alpha Zeta. I think they combined it. Shit. The beginning and ending. And he goes, what? He said that I should be your son. This is salvation. He puts himself up as saving the earth. Remember, that's what the whole reset is all about. So he's saving the earth by creating this, and he's calling it the beginning and ending.
This is it. This is it. Things are going down.
Oh, yeah, I was just gonna say, and the wicked thing about Esau is now they're making the process of homeschooling your children even harder with the paperwork, and now you have to designate a certain area of your home to like as basically like as a school. You know, a lot of Jake, we coming up for you, little ass apartment. You know what I'm
You
saying?
just be in the kitchen on the table. That's where you did your work at.
But that's all done by design because they want to take away the supervision of the parents.
Right.
You know, and I remember this back in like 2015. They were saying that very soon the government is going to be, watching over your kids.
When has he started that? When this word actually spread out. That's when he's actually like, yo, nah,
Get it on defense.
Because what we gonna teach our kids? Like, I was telling my brother, like, yo, if my son was with me all the time, he wouldn't even know what a Christmas is. He wouldn't even know what a thing's like. None of these things. He wouldn't even know what that is. And he wouldn't miss it because he never grew up that way. Only reason why he now thinks about it because he grew up in that type of environment. So it's like the Lord has it where the actual truth is out, and then we can't actually teach it unto our children, which is in the law. We're supposed to the rising up to the sun, to going down, write it on the doorpost. Like you're supposed to actually have conversations about how about you outside with your children. And like no, you're not actually sit down and teach them, but eventually they're a sponge. So that's what they're just gonna know. Oh, like how about you? I remember we grew up as knowing Jesus because that's what we grew up with. So imagine our children's growing up. Oh, yeah, how yeah, yep. Oh, yeah. Like that's it. They just know that the Lord is just normal to them. But he's all like, oh, so then we start passing that information down. That'll be problematic to Esau. So he created this whole shit where no, you can't be in life. You can't be around your children. Right? I'm gonna make life so hard that you got to actually bring your children to our institutions, and then we're gonna teach them the worst of the worst.
Right. During their most formative years,
Sponges.
where they just sponges, they learn everything. You got kids now. You got this 5-year-old talking about he lets his mom clean his fingernails and his toenails. You know. But again, you got all these things happening, and the men of the Lord come out and talk about it, and we're looked at as a hate group and all these different things. Again, Esau is just changing he's basically creating a new language, which is what they do to suppress a society. Because remember, in all things, English is a secondary bastard language. In every time we read, there's a reason why there's an emphasis on going back to the Greek and the Hebrew and so on and so forth, because you have in the English, you have primary meanings and you have secondary meanings of words. So when we read it, we're telling you the primary meaning originally this word means this. Esau say no, listen, we have a secondary meaning, and that's really what the meaning is. That's not true. Okay, that's actually false. That's why we're bringing back everything. We're bringing you back into remembrance. We first got to be broken out of what you know as a norm now in order to understand how things really are supposed to be. You see, now you gotta okay, oh shit, things are being done differently in the Eastern Hemisphere till today. You gotta convert that from Western mindset to Eastern mindset, and then you gotta take it up another level and go into the scriptures and go based on what the scriptures are saying. Sometimes that's too hard for people to do. But through the Spirit and power, how about Shemel Shai? If you're of the elect, it's a one-time click, and you got it. You see?
Yeah, precept you talk about language. Genesis 11 verse 1 says the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And when you go into that word language, it says through the idea of termination, language. It says the language, the speech, the binding, the border. Yeah, well, I thought it said determination, but it says through the idea of termination. But it just made me think of like, if you, in order for you to be like in one language, also that's like you being of one mind, like you having the same like binding idea to do something. And now what Esau is trying to do through his NGOs is all create one type of idea on the earth. The Great Reset is going to be the idea of basically serving the beast. We want to make everything right. That's why you have this whole push of like global the LBG community is like a global push, right? Everybody, he's trying to get everybody to accept that. That's why the whole thing in Uganda and Nigeria became such a thing. It's a big deal. You got this idea of like the world, the way that the system is being ran, safe and effective, right? Moving to electricity, right? Electric devices, going away from fossil fuels. All that is this idea of ultimately going to that work. And that's how he's going to push it. Like, this is going to be the idea that's on the earth. This is going to be salvation. This is going to be God. You're going to get rid of the Bible, the idea of fearing the Lord, the one and living God, and this is what you want to fear. This is the rules that you want to live under.
Jeremiah 51 and 30. The mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holds. Their might have failed. They became as women. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. Yeah, hey, the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. The other militaries in the world are laughing at America, man. You got Transformers. You got a bunch of effeminate weirdos. You got people that dye their hair pink and neon blue. You know, and this is what you call a military. That's why the Russians are laughing at your ass. The other nations are laughing at your ass. That's why they're coming together with the BRICS, because they're rejecting the wine that you keep pushing and forcing the nations to drink. They're rejecting that wine. So now your women, your men are becoming as women. You know, whether they actually put on a wig or they actually have an effeminate mannerism about themselves. You know, this is just all a sign of America, Babylon the Great's decline. Man.
You know, it's funny because for example, in the First World War, John, he saw the women. He said, "Yeah, they're like women," and he wore that little thing, right? But like now, Esau actually created to where like they actually have hair like women. Like you got Transformers. I think my brother seen that video where they were using a cross dresser to recruit in the Navy.
Yes.
Like that, they were using an actual cross dresser to recruit into the military, and like you could be yourself here. Drag. So that's going to be your woman. That's going to be your soldiers. So it's like now the vision that John saw, Esau went and even took it a step further. It's like, oh no, we put the hats on with the hair. Now we're going to actually have hair. And that's why like these other nations see Esau, see America like, yo, you ain't shit. You ain't shit.
See, even back as like the Romans, for example, they also had something similar. Things at least look men, like the Spartans, they would have the thing on the top.
Mm-hmm.
But they look like men going to war.
Mm.
This thing came back and just revolutionized the game.
Yo, that's something else I was thinking about. This whole new phase where men are just wearing nail paint on their hands.
Yeah.
Well, the number one recruit for next year in football, quarterback, Caleb, his name is Caleb Williams. I seen a Photoshop, like a picture of him, and he had his nails painted. And I'm like, yo, but he didn't look. The crazy part is, and this is where like shit is just like weird, like actually weird. He looked like a regular man, right? Like he had facial hair. Like he didn't look like he was effeminate, but he just had his nails painted. And I'm like, they're getting to the point where they're just like merging the sexes.
Yeah.
It was like a man can look manly but have feminine qualities, like nails and fucking, and then a woman could be feminine but then fucking beard.
Yeah.
Right? And I like that. Like,
That's
Deep ass voice.
right, and that's
it
the
looks
intent.
deep, yeah. Like the sexy reds. Like that's a
Oh,
nigga.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's a nigga.
Masculine.
Yeah, that's a nigga. But like people look at that like, oh, that's a sexy girl. Huh?
Oh, she really a nigga?
No, that's a, she not really a nigga. She a nigga.
Oh,
I ain't know shit. But even if she's not actual female, but I'm saying, let's say male, but let's say she's actually a female. That's a nigga. Like that's what a nigga look like. Yeah, that's what a nigga look like. You talking about my pussy pink? Oh, you got one?
I just found out Lady Gaga's a nigga. I just found that shit about. Yeah, Lady Gaga's a dude, bro. Like, it's been a thing since '09 when that nigga came out. It's been a thing. Yeah. But see, but that goes to show you that they're bringing out the God that they worship, which is the Baphomet. Baphomet is an androgynous spirit. That's where you get all this concept of gender neutral, gender fluid, all that bullshit, man. That's all. That's why they teach that to the kids.
Wait,
And
but
guess what?
You say male and female pretty
Yeah.
together. And then this guy is like gender fluid.
I am God. You heard something else.
Yeah.
You know, and then these athletes, you know, what's happening is they push these things on them to push to the youth.
Yeah.
Because the youth are watching these things and they make it seem like it's a fashion scene.
Right.
You know, like, oh, you know, if you like LeBron James got a purse like a female, and you get up and hold that purse like a female with his hands slanted, a broke wrist nigga walking around like a brat, like a female that you just said some shit you don't like, so now she mad. You get up and walk away. Like, nigga, stop, bro. You a grown ass man. Stop pushing that type of shit. When are the men gonna stand up and fight against this type of shit?
Westbrook or somebody that
Wear dresses, Ibaka wear dresses, grown ass, brolic ass nigga, bro. But guess what? That's what it's almost like a rite of passage. Like
it's like a modern day buck breaker.
Buck breaker, exactly. What's this guy? Michael
B. Jordan.
B. Jordan. Him. That after he did that the last movie he did with the other guy, I forgot the other guy's name. They did a ritual. And they show you that they were all grabbing each other, hanging out. It's like, oh, it's a brotherly love thing. That ain't no brotherly love, man. It's a sodomite relationship that you guys are doing over there, man. In order to be on the mainstream like that, you gotta sell out. You gotta do these things. It's a rite of passage. If you want to be in the upper echelon of politics, you gotta be down low with not just the men of men. You gotta do pederasty. That's part of the fucking plan. The rabbis, that's what they teach them. All right, why you think vocab don't come against that? When you go into these theologian schools, it's part of their curriculum. You got to teach you about pederasty, about sleeping with kids. You know what I'm saying? All this pedo shit is all part of the plan, man. Why do you think it's all coming out?
The Amalek race, they do what to the circumcision of the baby? And that's known. Yeah, that in the Law and Order episode. That's something that's known that's done amongst the Orthodox Amalekites, man. And they actually have that publicized, which is why. How do you know why they got so much power in the earth? No other nation does something like that publicly. Like, what's the penis? Yeah. But they're your leaders, right? They're the non-elected officials.
And it's them that have to come up with these laws for everybody to fall in line.
Right.
If you speak against it, you're anti this, anti that. That whole anti whatever shit came out to protect so-called JJ, who was engaging in these kind of activities. And people are gonna speak against this. So they said, oh, if you do that, we're gonna label you an anti this and anti that. That's just a way to stop you from conversation. But guess what? That's not gonna stop us.
Right.
Okay, your labels and your terms and all that. Guess what? One thing you can never say is what we're saying isn't true, because we're speaking the truth. You can label it whatever the hell you want. Guess what? You do that just to deter the unbelievers from believing the truth anyway. It's all a stumbling block. But we're not just gonna stumble misinformation.
Yeah. Got a quick precept. This is Hebrews chapter 12. This is Hebrews chapter 12, verse 16. It says, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. So even the Apostle Paul, making reference back to Esau, referred to him as a fornicator or profane person. Now, we know what a fornicator is, right? Fornicator, in a physical sense, fornication is basically unlawful, sex. And porneia, right? And then you have the spiritual sense, right? Which is an idolater and so on and so forth. Now, if you look at the man Esau himself, what we know about him is, you know, he was a cunning hunter, X, Y, and Z, right? But why is Paul referring to Esau, which he ain't really just referring to the man, he's referring to his nation, because the scriptures say Esau is Edom. Okay, so it's him and his whole line, and of course the apostle Paul would know because Yahweh Shai told him. So he was not only learning the scriptures but learning the spirit as well. That's why when he gave this advice, right, in certain of these books there, his writings, you know, he said, look, these ain't commandments in the law, but it would behoove you to take heed to this. It looks like you know, you know, it looks like I am the law. That's why he said, yeah, I'm not. That's why when they asked him about the Sabbath, he said, what do you mean? You know, he pressed it about the Sabbath. He's down. That's why the apostle Paul called Esau a fornicator and profane person. And now he's in what? Profane outside the temple, right? And that's Esau. Esau is the number one motherfucker that's outside the temple, because there's a book that I'm reading. Yo, they go into the scriptures and they do the opposite of that. They'll say, oh, well, you said you can't live with somebody of mankind. Well, you're not a man until you're 12 years old. So until you become 12 years old, you're not really a man. So this law don't apply to you. We can do this to you. It's like, yeah, the intricate parts of the law, they'll go into, okay, well, it says mankind. So, well, I mean, that's not mankind yet. So we can live with you. As early as the age of 3 years old, man. That's what they do. That's what they teach. All right? And we can prove that. If you want to really go there, we can go there. But that's in the movie Nefarious. How the demon was basically he was speaking like in the sense of Esau, that this is they do things that are against him, you know, and in order to do that they come after the people, you know, to try and anger him or try to get back at him, you know, like you were saying. But it says he was without the temple. Now you know what happened the last time an Edomite tried to run up in that temple. This guy Ptolemy IV. He tried to run up in that temple. Mosai struck his ass with some seizure like system. Yeah, they carried this thing out, and now he got mad and started persecuting the Israelites up there in Egypt. You know, but it goes to show you this guy, yeah, like fighting. You know, this. But you know what? At the end of the day, as much as we hate Esau, we really glorify the Lord every time we speak about the despicable aspect of this devil, because it just goes to show you how magnificent the Lord is to be able to create. When he said that this guy is the wicked, this is why he said he's the wicked, because he made him to be the wicked. So it goes to show you the extent of the power of the Lord. So really, we ain't even crediting Esau, we credited the Lord, saying, damn, Lord, I mean, you made this guy the worst of the worst. You know, Satan even looks at this guy like, damn, you a demon, nigga. I mean, I was made to be the king of the left-hand side, but you're just a demon, man.
Because Satan is in order with Yahweh Shai. Esau goes against the order of Yahweh Shai. So Satan is technically, he was made to go against Yahweh Shai. But even that's a scary thing. Like, nigga, you were created to go against the creator himself? That's a wow. You see? That's why you got that kind of pride. That's why
the Lord's so bad.
you got it.
But he was so bad that he created Satan to really go against his order on the left hand side, which is his order. But he gave Satan immortality. So like, I'm not gonna kill you, but you're like your sons, like the children. These niggas that's gonna afflict my sons. I'm gonna kill them niggas. Like, that's why I was like, yo, Esau, like, you're hated. Like, even Satan is at first, but like he's not even hated because like he will still be. He's an angel. But it's like Esau, your actual like your legacy will be gone. They're like it's gonna be gone. But actually, like the Lord's showing, like I actually hate you. You're out of existence.
You know, it's crazy, right? It's like if you really think about like what's really the purpose of all this, it's really for the amusement of Yahweh Shai. It's for his pleasures. Because it tells you that in Revelation 4 and 11, the water. But if you sit back and ask yourself, what's the purpose of all of this? It's because the Most High said, I wanted to create the wicked, I wanted to create the righteous, and I wanted this to happen. And then after that, I'm going to take you out to the kingdom. You'll have a good old time. You're like, damn. Yo, that's crazy.
We can't resist my will.
We can't resist my will. That's scary, man.
Revelation 4, verse 10. And the 4 and 20 elders fell down before him that sat on the throne and worshipped him that liveth forever and ever, and cast their crowns before the throne, saying, Thou art worthy, O Lord, to receive glory and honor and power.
So the Lord God constantly got angels that are up there whose jobs it is to worship him in his presence.
Got crowns on their heads.
And they cast it down.
They're just, yo,
Real world.
for thou hast created all things, and for thy pleasure they are and were created.
For the Lord's pleasure. Angels, Yahweh Shai, us, like the whole concept of the scriptures. This comes from the mind of the Lord.
That's
The
a
Lord,
movie.
it is the movie. That's it.
And when you have a movie, and where does it start from? An idea.
Yeah.
It's an idea. That's why you have the writer. That's what he says, like, oh, you can see the screen of the writer, the creator, the producer.
Yeah.
The Lord literally is all that. Like, yo, this is my movie. Life is actually a idea of the Lord. Life is an idea of the Lord.
Isn't it said that Yahushua said, I'm the author and finisher of your faith? So like author and finisher of your faith. So like that is all directly from Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, all of what we have, the mindset, your thoughts. Because you gotta think about, yo, what gives you a thought? I remember I asked my earth father, like, yo, so what gives you a thought? He said some bullshit, but it's like, yo, no, what gives you a thought? Like you have a thought in your mind. The Lord said, I work on the minds of the kings. What do you think about the regular peons of people? Everything is the Lord. The Lord said, all the earth is mine. All substance, all matter, all material comes from him, heaven, one creator. The Lord said, there's no other God. Everything aligns with the scriptures, the time of Noah. Nobody has history prior to that. There was no man. He killed everyone. The Lord did that. And then the Lord delivered Israel out of Egypt and said, this when you became my people. This when the covenant was happened.
He made it a law.
Yeah, made it. Yeah.
I wish I said the law that cannot be broken. Yeah. So like, because he gave it as a promise to Abraham, then he confirmed it as an oath to Isaac, and then he actually made it like written, like on the earth, boom.
Document.
That's why you now will be called sons of God, Yasharala. There's no other nation on the earth that be called Yasharala. So now I'm actually making a law where I'm going to show all this creation who I am, and I'm going to do it through Yah. And that's actually the love of God. And I just said, man, beloved, what manner of love the Lord the Father has bestowed upon us. Like, out of all this creation, you're like, you know what? I'm going to actually make my seed. I'm going to make my image. I'm going to show the idea of what I've created, all this, everything I got breath. I'm going to show myself through you. It's everything else. That's how they're going to know that there is a God.
It's like second main character.
Yeah.
I got the
Yeah, call for 1 John 3:1. Behold, what manner of love the Father hath bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of God.
Now you got to think about that. What manner of love? Now we're not talking about like, you think about love, like, okay, like your girl loves you, your mom loves you. But like, you got to think about the heightened level of love that actually Heavenly Father loves Israel. This seed line, like, yo, I'm going to make my image. I'm going to show myself through these people, through this seed. Out of all the seeds, all the creation that I'm created, you're going to know, existence is going to know that there's a God because of what I'm going to do for you guys.
That's what to show you the kind of love Yahweh has for Israel. Because remember, just like the Heavenly Father, He made us in His image and likeness. A man's love is what? It's sacrificial. And a woman's love is what? Circumstantial. Right? A man's love is sacrificial. Yahweh was that sacrifice of love for the Israelites. Like, I'm gonna sacrifice my beloved son because of how much love I have for you. And that's how we are. As men, you sacrifice the clothes on your back for your child or your woman or whatever. But for a woman, her love is circumstantial. Once the feeling you giving her stops, she stops loving you and she moves on. And it's like you could sit there, cry, try to reason, she doesn't care because that feeling is gone. But for a man, that feeling doesn't go. As long as you love something, you sacrifice for that thing. That's just how we're built. Same way with the Heavenly Father. So we are made in the image of our Father. So when it comes to sacrificing for something to love, we get it. Because He made us as He is. You see, and we saw the sacrifice that Yahushua went through, putting His life on the line. That's how much love He has for His brother. That's why He said, there's no greater love. Right. There's no greater love than to put your life on the line for your brother. See, that's what you got.
John 15 and I'm gonna start at 12. This is my commandment, that ye love one another as I have loved you. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. Ye are my friends, if ye do whatsoever I command you.
You got to think about it, because people love saying John 16, right? They said, God so loved the world, right? That He gave His only God. So when you think about, this is actually Yahweh Shai, that's why John said it, behold the Lamb of God, right? Like, remember, what does Yahweh love the most? Purity, righteousness. everything but be holy, for I am holy, right? So when you think about what is the most holiest thing, something that has never committed a sin on the earth, because remember, all flesh is subject to sin. So the most separated thing from that would be the most unblemished human, which was Yahweh. He created no. The Lord said, "I love you so much that this perfect thing, I'm going to kill it for you. I'm going to get rid of the most perfect thing for you, just so that you can be brought back to me." This is the only thing on the earth that actually represented Yahweh. Remember, perfect. Yeah, I come to do my Father's will. The only thing that actually was created on the earth that actually represented Yahweh. The image, me and my Father are one. The Lord said, "I'm going to actually kill this for you, and bring it so you can be brought back to me." By the worst, by this devil, by the thing I hate, I'm going to kill this for you. I'm going to kill this lamb for you to bring you back to me. That's the love that the Most High has for Israel, and that's what Esau don't want us to remember. That is the actual good news. That the actual God of life loves us, and He's going to bring us back and to be His God again. We should be His people. And then what? And then what? Was that Romans the 8th chapter, 24? You can get that, where He said that He gave up His Son, and how much freely shall He give unto us? You got to think about, like, this is God's Son. How many of us? I got a son, and I can't even lie and say, like, "Yeah, I'll sacrifice my son for you." Like, I love y'all, but I can't really think about that. Yeah, I'll kill my son for you.
Especially if you wrong me.
Right.
Yeah, you wrong me so much. I'm gonna want you back so bad that I'm gonna sacrifice my son to get us to come back on the same terms again. Like what?
And that's why he loved. He called Abraham his son, because Abraham was able to do that.
And he symbolized what's the Lord.
The similitude.
That's crazy.
Now, I know I got the what you said, but I wanted to bring out from what we talked about real quick. Second Ezra chapter 5. The point's in 33, but I'm gonna start at 32. No, 31. Excuse me. And it says, "Now when I had spoken these words, the angel that came to me the night of was sent unto me, and said unto me, Hear me, and I will instruct thee. Hearken to the thing that I say, and I shall tell thee more. And I said, Speak on, my Lord. Then said he unto me, Thou art sore troubled in mind for Israel's sake. Lovest thou that people better than he that made them?"
Yeah.
Straight laced. Who could love Israel more than Yahweh Bashim Yahushai? That's why he did that, man. Yahweh, he did that with Yahushai and then put us back on. Because at the end of the day, Yahushai already got back to immortality. He got back with the Father. This is what's manifesting now is the joint heirship. That's what's coming. That's what Esau's scared of. He's scared of Yahushua and his people because that's the one that he hates and he wrong. When the Lord was on the scene, he never really talked about Esau like that. That's when he coming now to get the action. It's the actions. Everybody talk about active in New York. They say set motion. Well, Yahushua is setting the motion. Yeah, well, Yahushua is setting the motion straight up. And he said, "Who can love him more than that made them, man?" That's plain. But I have what you asked for, brother. Oh, you got it?
Yeah, it's Romans 8, right?
Yeah, 24. You got it? Okay.
It's the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 24. It says, "For we are saved by hope, but hope that is seen is not hope. For what a man seeth, what or why doth he yet hope for?"
That's right. Right. And when you read about faith, that's what the Lord required. That's what the Lord ultimately required of Israel, is to believe. Believe on Him. Believe on His name. Just the name of the Lord alone should cause you to move. That's how dreadful. That's how powerful He is. That when the people's like, "Oh, your name preceded you," like that's how the Lord, like this. I'm supposed to be. Lord is supposed to be the definition of my name preceding me. That's how much his power is. That His glory is just in His name. Hallowed be Thy name. So keep going, and that's what we hope for, right? That's where our hope is on that the name that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai will deliver us. We don't have any I think Peter said, "If you loved Him and have not yet seen Him," we don't even know what He's going to appear like. We don't even know what He's going to look like. how are you gonna save us? Like, what are you gonna look like? We can't even say like, okay, your chariot gonna be like this. Like, yeah, he coming like this, or he gonna look like this. Like, we got certain ideas based off of description, but like, we don't even know what our actual savior looks like. We just know his name. And we're like, hey, he's gonna save us. We're like, trust in my name. That's the salvation. There should be no other name given among men. Because when you read the scriptures about like conquerors, we don't know them, but we don't know Alexander the Greek, but we know his name, and that's what his name was carried on through his kingdom, through his seed. That's why in Psalms 72 it says, "What thy name shall endure as long as the sun." The name of Yahushua, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, is going to be everlasting because that's what's going to be from the time of the deliverance until eternity. That's what everybody's going to magnify. They're going to know. Oh, it was Yahushua that did this. He was the deliverer. He was the one that set up this kingdom. This is his kingdom.
You can only imagine what it's like to have the world calling Yahushua. Like we're so used to having to explain anytime we talk about Yahushua to somebody that's without. But to hear them actually say Yahushua like it's normal, wow. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
And that's the beautiful thing is about the elect, starting with the elect, the whole kingdom, house of Israel, that's going to be India.
Yeah.
But the other nations, they will have to get taught that. Yeah. And how do people get taught? Well, mainly is through what? Punishment. Yeah. That's what teaches you the most.
That's right.
And if the Lord wants to keep his name on the earth, solidified it to where it's never removed, just imagine how much pain got to be put in the earth to the people that's going to actually know that, to where it's like, oh, you're going to be feared into actually teaching and knowing it. To the point where you're going to teach that to your children. And then they're going to teach that to their children. Like, it's going to be a constant fear. That's why he said his name should be dreadful among the heathen. It's going to be dread. Like, when the heathen hear Yahushua, that's going to be a fearful thing to them. I know what that comes with. I know what Yahweh. Oh, no. Don't do that, Yahweh. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yahushua. Oh, Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua. Oh, so I don't want to know. Remember, they're still in the flesh, so they're still subject to the sin. So they're going to go off, and then they're going to feel. Then we're going to be his representatives. So when they see us, they're going to see us. They're going to see the Father. Oh, you ain't what?
In your house too.
Oh. Oh. You go ham? Oh. You go ham? Oh, ham is that? It's like everything, and that's where the curses should be upon you. Remember, the curses was for us to remind us not to go on. That's why I said, Joshua, why should I be stricken anymore? You should revolt. You getting cursed, the scourges for amendment. But Israel just go, they roll with it, they roll with the punches. They actually back swimming in the fight. Like, yeah, we love this. That's why I said, you're a homeborn slave. Like, that's how far you felt. Like, you actually in love with my punishment. I just gotta kill you. I'm gonna burn you up. It's like that's how sick y'all are. But like for the heathens, their curse is gonna be them not being able, just like I'm cursing us, them not being keeping the law, them not following the ways of the Lord. But the Lord said, "What? I'm gonna give it to you double. I did this. You did this unto us in love." He said the heathens are nothing. Like, there's nothing.
Like, spittle. There you go. Yeah. So spittle, we're not gonna be looking at you like, oh, that's a life I just took. You don't know if you get your hat.
You're not a god. You're not a god. Look at you. I don't anything else.
No, you're a heathen. You're a heathen. Yeah, like we look at Moabites today. They're so insignificant. Now you see a Moabite he's talking out some wrong or some shit. You just look at him like, this is disgusting. We're gonna have to correct all that shit. In our kingdom, the earth is going to be perfect. That means if you're not on board, you getting your shit cooked. And that's going to be without remedy. Nah. So you're going to be on board or you're going to be on board. That's just what it is. And guess what? When the Lord comes back and he makes that statement, America's going to be the first statement he makes. And it's going to vibrate throughout the whole entire earth. The whole vibration.
They're going to try to make peace with the Lord.
I don't want peace.
So right there. Oh, like what's that movie where the chariot just like pulls up mad slow and then all of a sudden the laser just comes down.
Independence Day?
Where they destroy like a tall ass building.
That's why he said like was that second Ezra 6? And I also got second Ezra 13, I got second Ezra 6, where it says when he's turned his countenance. Like he's not coming for any type of like resolution. Like she's not trying to resolve a problem. He said it's like, no, I have a problem. I'm gonna appease it. I'm gonna fix my problem.
Yep.
You can't actually tell the Lord or like try to negotiate.
with him.
There's no negotiation with that's what he said in righteousness. Do I come and judge and make war? If anyone, nobody else is fighting for righteousness.
Right.
So he is the king of righteousness. So it's like, all right, y'all not fighting me because y'all want to be right. Y'all want to be right. Y'all be with me.
Right. Exactly.
So that obviously means that y'all wrong.
I will not meet thee as a man.
Right.
2 Ezra 6 verse 56, which you quoted. As for the other people, I'm starting at 55. It says, all this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou hast made us the world for our sake. As for the other people which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and hast likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. Oh, now, Lord, behold, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. But we, thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are now given into their hands. If the world now be for our sakes, why do we now possess an inheritance of the world? How long shall this endure? This is a literal conversation that a son is having with a father. Like, yo, you gave me all this, but you didn't. But now you gave it to these heathen that you don't even you call her nothing. Said they're like spit. How long are you gonna let them like rule over us? That's a relationship that we have with our God. Our God is the only. That's why Scripture always says the only living God. That's very significant because there's I think Paul said there's many lords and gods, but there's no living God. And the only living God is our Father, and He has put us in a position of being this low under these heathens, and this whole world is supposed to be for our pleasure. Our pleasure, but we fell off. But through Yahushua, we get it back.
I think that Paul, you made a point some time ago about the time period that we're living, right? That's why Esau calls it the common era, because even the Lord told Peter, "Call not things common or clean." When you go into the word common, it basically means that it's a norm. It's average. It's not above and beyond. It's basically outside the temple, right? And all these heathens get to rule except for Israel. And that's what the Lord told Ezra, that this world for now is for many, but the world to come is for a few. Right? And it starts with the elect. The 144,000, those are really the ones that are left here who see this place as what it is, a hellhole, a shithole that leads destruction. You see? So that common era is what? And the time after Yahushua's birth, which is what? AD, which we know as the year of our Lord, Anno Domini, but Esau calls it common era, CE. Why doesn't he say AD? Because they don't believe in the Heavenly Father. Right? The JJs don't believe Yahushua came back already. Right? They don't even believe in the concept of Yahushua. You see what I'm saying? They don't believe in the Heavenly Father. They believe in the Talmud. All right? But the common era means that we're in a time of or an era where all these other nations got to rule. Right? You go with the Babylonians, the Assyrians, the Greeks, the Romans, the Persians, the Medes, all these different nations, the Egyptians. They all got to rule. Those are commoners. Okay? But in the kingdom, the kingdom that's made for few, we're going to be at the top. It's not going to be known as a common era. It's going to be known as the kingdom of the Lord, the kingdom of Israel. All right?
So think about that because life, I think we talked about this before, time is actually predicated on Yahushua. And that's deep because it's like we're going to know forever from Yahushua when he came until eternity. We're going to know, okay, this is when it started. And then this is how it was. Like, the earth knows it's 2023. Why? Why is it 2023? From what? Like, what's the standard of 2023? And Esau, even though you got like the Chinese New Year and all that, they actually eat like in China, they mainly go off of the Western year. You go to China, they ask you what year it is. They're not gonna say, oh, it's 20 whatever China. They're gonna say it's like 2023. Because Esau is the one who throughout the earth put this lifestyle to change it. Well, not change the time, but his time period is what earth is based on. But that really starts with Yahushua. Because from that time period, that's what Esau is coming from. It's called, at this point, so now this is like basically the time of our end. And the Lord allowed that for us. So we can know like this is when Yahushua came and did this. This is the point, the beginning, boom. And then the end of this age.
That's why a lot of people say 2023, the year of our Lord.
The year of our Lord, yeah.
By just acknowledging the date, you have to acknowledge Yahushua.
And it's funny because the thing like Edomites, when they think about the Lord, they think about like killing him. Because like they talk about the Lord's death, right? But it's like, remember, he said that not only did he die, but he rose. Him rising was significant, but it was more significant, I feel like, than just the death part. Because if he just died and that was it, then we would have no actual hope. Yeah, that's why the resurrection of Yahweh Shai is so important. It's like, oh, he was the first to get back to being immortal. Now we're sons of God. Oh, he was the first to die and live forever now. So that's what we're looking at.
Revelation 1:18.
Behold, I am he that was dead and was alive. No, him that was living died, and behold, I live forevermore.
I can see that dead. I was dead and I'm alive. Yeah, man. Amen.
Amen.
His brother has a hope. That's why Yahweh defeated death because he was resurrected.
Right. Yeah. Yep. And that's the actual gospel. The gospel is the resurrection of life.
Got it. Isaiah 25:8. He will swallow up death and victory. And the Lord Yahweh will wipe away tears from off all faces.
Right.
And the rebuke of his people shall he take away from off all the earth. For Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh shall have spoken. Hey, swallow up death and victory. He conquered death. He entered into immortality once again, and that's the promised joint inheritance for those that are faithful unto him. So, hey, man, what could be better than that? People say, I don't want to live forever, man, but you want to live, and what is this? What do you call this shit here? This is not even life. You don't even know what life is. But you got the nerve to say, oh, I don't want to live forever, but you never even heard what it is to live. Well, you never even experienced. I wouldn't want to live forever if it was under Esau either. That's true. That's true. That's what I'm saying. Like, we don't even know what life is. We don't know what life is. Nobody really knows what life truly can be. So for you to say, oh, I would never want to live forever, but you're talking about this meaningless life.
But see, they ain't never gonna be ready to somebody put a gun to their head though. Right. Because if you don't want to live forever, then that means somebody put a gun to your head today. Why are you bitching about it?
Right.
If they come 100 years later, you still gonna bitch. I don't want to die. Right. Just say you don't want to live forever. So if somebody came to you every 100 years, put a gun to your head, at what point are you gonna say, all right, you know what, I'm ready. Take my ass out.
Yeah. You know why? That's why with old people, when they get older, like you'll see them like for a younger person, like damn, you about to die soon, right? But to them, like they're not really concerned about that because it's like you've gotten to a point of like it's time to die, right? But you're saying it's like, yo, I'm at your body has decayed to the point where like I'm ready to actually not exist anymore in this vessel, and that's why the Lord's literally going to make us eternal. But Yahweh said, what? Who's this young man? So we're going to be at the prime state where we're never going to feel like, yo, I'm ready to die now. Like, I'm not, oh man, my body is just weak. So, like, you talk to somebody that's like, I don't even know what you say, prime is like 17, 18 years old, your body's like full of energy. It's like, oh, this is the best time of my life, right? Because, like, you got all the energy, you got your bones working good. Like, I be thinking about playing basketball right now. I'm like, yo, and I'll be in my mind, I'm like, yo, I can't believe this.
That's crazy.
I remember like when I was like, we play basketball all day. Like sometimes I go down the steps. And remember as a kid, like you would jump like 4 or 5 steps and just like do that. I'm looking at this shit and I'm like, that shit's a little dangerous. Like, yo, this is a little dangerous, man. That's like high science. And I'll do it just to like do it. I'll be like, oh. My son does it like, I'm like, oh, damn, but it's like us getting old. We're decaying. And the Lord's like, yo, that's why the portal will put on immortality. Like, yo, I'm gonna have to give you some clothes. I gotta get some clothes. Like, this ain't that right now. It's not Bible. I'm like, oh, y'all should not like that.
Gonna be my wife, your woman, you want your woman to be, on point. You don't want her to be coming on raggedy and shit, body all fucked up like this. We gotta do something about that. We gotta set up. We gonna take you shopping. We gotta get you some new clothes. Take her to Rainbow. Listen, you got the money. But there's like clothes for everything, right? Like if you're gonna run track, there's certain clothes for that. If you're gonna play basketball, you're gonna play
you're going to work. There's clothes for everything. You know, so when you think of clothes, dress for the occasion. Even a wedding, right? There's a way you dress. So when you think of clothes, then in the sense of a body or in a robe, and you think of what the occasion is, I mean that the immortal kingdom, the person who is going to need to clothe us with new clothes. You know, we can't. That's like going to, I don't know, it's like going swimming with a whole. I saw a video. You got this shaking a pool with freaking I don't know, Air Force Ones or some shit with jeans on. It's like this thing in the pool. Yeah. It doesn't match. So that's why the Lord said this mortal must put on immortality before you come up into that kingdom. Right. Unless you're like in that character. That's why I said, what's back, those who are without, like, having garbage areas and rabbits. Let you in your little like that. Exactly. Oh, that's why the Revelation says that righteousness is fine linen. Yeah, that's what the clothes is. Fine linen. And the preacher brought up before, it's crazy because it said all people want to alter everything. Yeah. Isaiah 25:8, it says, He will swallow up death and victory, and the Lord Yahweh will wipe away tears from all faces. Right? And the rebuke of his people shall he take away from off all the earth.
And check that out. If you read, it's like half it says all people, but then he says, then his people. Because somebody could twist that, be like, see, that's he comes back. When they gonna say Jesus come back, he gonna wipe with all tears from all people. Nah, then he made it, he tightened it up. Then he said the rebuke of his people. Because people try to twist the Bible like everybody can get into this, man. Everybody can't get into this. Matter of fact, who's in tears? Right, exactly. But all other nations ain't in mourning right now. They got the fatness. What? Not they don't got the fatness of the earth, but they all got a piece of the fatness of the earth through Esau, man. But this is Lamentation, chapter 2, verse 1. It says, "How hath the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger?" And mind you, the daughter of Zion is Israel, but we talk about the chosen nation of the Heavenly Father, the Creator that created us, his chosen nation. Check out what happened to them. It says, "How hath the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger, and cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel, and remember not his footstool in the day of his anger." Verse 2, "The Lord hath swallowed up all the habitations of Jacob, and have not pitied. He hath thrown down in his wrath the strongholds of the daughter of Judah. He hath brought them down to the ground. He hath polluted the kingdom and the prince thereof." That's it right there. That's what we felt from the grace. When he said his anger, he was angry with his people. He was wroth with his people. These other nations ain't going through the curses of the law. How the fuck you gonna get the salvation? You ain't going through none of the curses. How you gonna get the salvation? Please explain that. How you? Because the Lord said you won't be under these curses to Israel. The other world, the other nations ain't part of the curses. So how they're part of the curses, or we're being cursed? They're the ones that we're given unto. So how you going to say in a world that now all people can get salvation now? Well, that wasn't part of the curses. But anyway, verse 3. He hath cut off in his fierce anger all the horn of Israel. The whole nation of Israel went off, man. It was no Israelite that was walking the earth that still had it all and still had immortality. No, everybody, a whole nation. He said he hath cut off in his fierce anger all the horn of Israel, like their power and stuff. He hath drawn back his right hand from before the enemy, and he burned against Jacob like a flaming fire, which devoured round about, which is what we're going through right now. All this oppression, all of the low level shit, we being on the bottom, that's what this is right here. With the Lord's anger towards us, his wrath. But we know that slowly but surely, well, not slowly, but it's coming off of us. Because he said he pulled his right hand from the enemy, but he's going to put the right hand back on the enemy. And it says, around about verse 4, this is the last one. It says, no, excuse me. Yeah, verse 4, it says, he had bent his bow like an enemy. He stood with his right hand as an adversary, and slew all that were pleasant to the eye in the tabernacle of the daughter of Zion. He poured out his fury like fire. That's his own people. Niggas in the projects, drug addicts, alcoholics, absent fathers, whore-ass women, disobedient children. The whole nine, man. Everything we go through in America, the whole nine. That's him been an adversary to us, his chosen, his loved ones, his sons, daughters. But this is a punishment for a certain time, though. We're at the end of it. Continue on verse 5, actually the last one. It said, verse 5. The The Lord was an enemy. He had swallowed up Israel. He had swallowed up all her palaces. He had destroyed his strongholds and have increased in the daughter of Judah mourning and lamentation, man. Slavery, man. When the Negroes came over here. We got it the worst. He always sometimes mentioned Judah alone. He don't really mention other tribes like that too solo. He mentioned Judah a lot solo by himself. Like adversary of Judah, the head tribe, the tribe that the Lord came out of. That
was the tribe that chose to embrace law and scepter would come out.
Yep.
So he came from the firstborn first. That's what it's evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah. That's why the Lord always mentioned Judah. It wasn't like the actual man Judah that he was talking about. It was really speaking about Yahushua.
Yeah.
Because Yahushua was literally the firstborn created. So therefore, if the firstborn created, that's why he said he's the son of God. Firstborn came out of Judah, then that means that literally the head of the tribes is actual Judah. So that's why his name is in Yahweh's name is in the tribe. Yahweh does. So that's like I said, that's why you gotta work, because we think about, we always say like when children, parents, you got siblings who always get it the worst. The oldest always get it the worst. You know better. And hey, that's why Yahweh Shai got it the worst. Because like you knew better. Yeah, 21. Yeah, you saw it.
It's all right if I bring out Job 2 real quick. Job, because we mentioned how people say they don't want to live forever, right? And it says Job 2 and 5. Yes, people say they don't want to live forever, but you sure as hell don't want to die either. So which one is it? This is the book of Job. Oh, there it is. 2 and 4. It says, and Satan answered Yahweh and said, skin for skin, yea, all that a man hath will he give for his life. So really, you just don't appreciate life. Like the brother before said, you know, if you put a gun to somebody's head, they're going to be sure as hell begging for life. You know, but people don't appreciate what life is. They just think it's just a random occurrence, you know, the Big Bang Theory, whatever. But really, life is a blessing, man. Especially for us, but even for the heathens, for them to be even able to exist when Yahweh Hashem Yahweh's creation is a blessing.
You should have made life that's supposed to be a blessing.
Fresh. When you think about life in the sense of like what death is, like you're in the spirit world, but you're at what? You're at rest, right? So it's like you're not really like active in the spirit world, you're resting. So like when you think about in a modern, like in a physical sense, people actually lose sleep in order to do activities. You know, they want to be, I don't want to miss out. I want to get up. You know, that's why they drink coffee. That's why they try to keep stimulus to stay up, because being up is like being active. So life with the Lord's going to actually give to us is like we're going to always have that. We're never going to have to experience the actual sleep part of the cycle of life and death. It's just going to be forever. We're just going to be just actively knowing what life is. History, past, present, all that's just going to be just us. We're not going to have to learn about what happened in the past. Or like, damn, I wish I would have seen what's in the future. That's just going to be our timeline. They're going to have to relive the cycle of life and death and not being active for certain days, not being alive for certain days. And that's what's going to separate the sons of God from the rest of these mortals. You're like, oh, you guys are the mortals. You guys are the ones that like, I've been here. Yeah, I see your cycle of life. Or somebody like, yo, being able to see something go from a little, like a baby, all the way up to aging, and like you just seeing like that just happen. Like just a cycle of, you know, alive and dead. Like people like see like plants, or like damn, like I remember you were just a little baby, you see it grow, and they're like, oh, you're sad, you're dying. But it's like I think it's going to say in verse 4 of Revelation 21, like for the sons of God, there shall be no death. So you're not going to experience the sorrow of like growing and the dying. Like nah, God is all going to live forever.
So the sorrow is like the end of the cycle. Like,
right? Because who do you really mourn over? You mourn over your family.
Yeah.
You know, that's who you cry over. But to all the family of the house of Israel, David, you're always going to, you know, you're always going to be alive. You're never going to cry. You're not going to cry for no heathen dying. Like,
go be the one put that together.
Yeah, right.
As an immortal, those are like mortal thoughts, mortal feelings. Because the Most High don't cry when you die. You know what I'm saying? Like the Most High don't mourn when you die. because he's a God. He's outside of the cycle of life and death. It says that all things are ever living before him, right? So there's no such thing as death to the Lord. Just like for us, we're gonna understand that really there's no such thing as death. You're just in a different realm now, you know. So we ain't gonna like, oh man, such and such is dead. Like over here, you do that because you can't see them anymore. You know, you think that they're gone, and you don't know if you'll see them again. But we're gonna be outside that. We're gonna be above that. So certain feelings we're not even gonna be subject to anymore because we're gonna be above it.
Like Yahushua, he's not physically on the earth right now, but we know he's not dead. He's alive. Right? He's going to be coming back. So that's how we're going to be to the heathens. They're going to be like, yo, they got picked up and like they coming back as gods. Like Yahushua, same thing. They're going to be expecting us to come back. And they'll see us and they're going to be like, yo, they're alive. Like, yeah, they're going to be alive. Like, Yahushua didn't die.
That's why his resurrection was so important. That's why he showed himself for 40 days. Because like, if he died and just like disappeared, nobody would know if he was really alive or not. But he had to actually show himself like, nah, I'm here. Like, you saw me die, right? Everybody saw me die. I came back. You show that this is the same body. I was dead. You said there was no breath, and I'm not gonna be alive now. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna come back though. But like, I seen you leave alive, so you're not dead. So that's why you're not dead. So that means you gotta come back. And then when you come back, we're gonna be like you. Okay. That's the gospel. Go and tell everybody. You see, now that's the gospel is the resurrection of Yahweh. Go and tell everybody I died. I came back. Now I'm alive forever. I'm coming back.
No one else did that. No one else did that.
And though he hasn't been on the earth for 2,000 years, people would think normally, like you said, if nobody has seen him, then they'll be like, well, he died, he never came back. It's 2,000 years. Yeah. Right? But 2,000 years, we know when he was alive, he left us. He's going to come back. Because we were there when we saw him go up. See the angel stood next to us and said, why are you gazing up into the hot skies looking at him? He's going to come back the same way you see him going is the same way you're going to see him come back. So we have that expectation. So in this day and age, we know that the Lord is going to come back. When he comes back, we're going to see the greatness of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. See, now that's what these other heathens going to see. The same process. Yahushua get beamed up, brought back down. We're going to go through the same thing. We're going to get beamed up, brought back down. But this time when we come back, they're not going to see the same skin, flesh, body. They're going to see gods. They're going to be like, oh, shit. All right, it's over now. Let's go. You know, so
aliens.
the Lord is
They're gonna
already
think it's aliens.
They're gonna think it's aliens.
Well, it is.
Yeah, it is.
We're foreigners.
Yeah.
Like, we're actually foreign to this actual setup of what life is, or Earth is, or the world is. That's why I said you're not of this world.
Yeah.
So we're literally actually are aliens that are not here. That we're strangers to this. That's why I said so. We're drawn as strangers.
Yeah, right.
As pilgrims in the earth. Like pilgrims, when we're a pilgrim, you're not a native to a country. But if you're pilgrim to the earth, that means we're not native to this actual earth. Like the Lord created the earth and put us here. We're literally from the spirit world, from above. We're from above. We just got put here. This is our dominion, and that's why the scripture says, "As on earth as is in heaven." We're about to replicate what our actual home is through Yahweh. Let's renovate. Let's renovate.
Which up?
3.
John 8:23, and he said unto them, ye are from beneath, I am from above. Ye are of this world, I am not of this world.
You get that also, I think, in John 17, where he says, I'm not of this world as you're not of this world as I'm not of this world. Yep. They said, you're from beneath. That's why Paul talked about setting your affections on things above. Let your conversations be in the heaven. You know? And we're the only ones, going back to what I'm saying, we're the only ones that's actually speaking this word right now. We're the only ones that's representing this type of life on the earth right now. So when Yahweh Shai comes, we're going to be like, all right, this is what we've been talking about. But everybody else is going to fear them. Because remember, the way he's coming angry because majority of his throne, his kingdom, all of his kingdom really is defiled. The Lord, the Heavenly Father created this for him. Where it said, ask me and I should give you the heathen for thy possession. The othermost, ask him. How should I be like, can I get my own kingdom, Daddy? Can I get my own throne? And they're like, yo, this is yours. This is yours. But look how it's fucked up.
So you have somebody give you a car. Before you even drive it, you see somebody crashing into trees, crashing into other cars. I mean, you done fucked up your whole shit. What you think you gonna do when you come back?
Especially now you gotta work really hard to get it too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, 200 years, you put up already. already, nigga. You just had 2 days. You already ruined this shit, nigga. What the fuck is wrong with you? Huh? You know how long it took for us to build this? And you just come in 2 days, you mess it up? You're definitely set up destruction. We gotta get you out. You know?
Get him up out of mine.
It's gonna be swift judgment. You know, that's why the Lord said, the scripture talk about it's gonna be 1 hour for America to be destroyed, because once America is destroyed, everything else changes. It's like that one switch that has to go off for everything else to work. And once this place is taken out, everything else is gonna get back in order, man.
Hey, the house of Apple. Lord's about to literally destroy Esau's house, like his main dominion. Be like, yo, fuck your shit. Like, I'm destroying this. I'm gonna let the whole world see me destroy your shit.
Village.
Humiliate you. He did us.
Yeah. She's the driver of the dragon. Right. So once he takes her off.
John 17:16. They are not of the world, even as I am not of the world.
That's right. So us being in the mind of like the Habashai was, that's why he wasn't concerned about the things of the world. He came to do his father's work. He wasn't concerned about having a family and having wives and having riches and having land. He said the son of man, a fox have holes and birds have nests, but the son of man have the word lay his head. Those things didn't concern him. He wasn't concerned about having to fly his gears and being, he was like, I came to do my father's will. He wasn't concerned about Ian. My father's will, my meat is to do my father's will. That was the only thing, because he understood it. Do his father's will, then I'm gonna get the glory back. I'm gonna get the kingdom. I'm gonna get what was originally given to me. That's why he prayed in that same prayer to give me the glory which I have from the foundation before the world began. I want that back. I don't want this. You got Satan trying to even tell him, I give you all this. I give you the glory of all these. Like, I think I was there. Like, oh no, I don't want this. This is all you got. Like, this is all you can give. Oh no, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna drink of this cup. I don't want to, but I'm gonna drink of this cup. It's like what you offer me. That ain't it.
And that's why at the end he said, so with the Lord, he said, it is finished. The mission, the reason why you sent me here is done. Like, I actually completed what you sent me here to do. That's that, man. Look, that's the goal. That's why the Lord said, scriptures talk about endure to the end, because we're waiting for that glory that He had from the beginning. Lord, the scriptures talk about the first fruits. Lord willing, we are those men. We want that glory too. We want to see Yahushua rule, because that means we all get to. You see, that means we're living in perfection. All this hell stops. That means the one who's not supposed to be rulership has been taken out, which is Esau Edom. You see? So we also yearn, like the scriptures talk about, I believe it's in the book of Hebrews, where it talks about, Romans, where it talks about the earth groaning, all right, for the manifestation of the sons of the Most High, basically to rule again, to take over the whole earth, to make it new. Like the Apostle Paul said, Apostle Peter said, right? We're looking for a new heaven and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. That's the key. Wherein dwelleth righteousness. We're not looking for a new global reset. Got all this fuck ass shit going on. We're looking for a new earth and a new heaven wherein dwelleth righteousness. King of righteousness. King of righteousness. There you go. You see, with his elect men, who gonna be enforcing that righteousness. Not no setting up bots to put in. Oh, we're gonna detect this information. Fuck out of here, bro. We're talking about real life stuff. We're talking about a kingdom forever.
You know, because if they do that, then bring on the family of the word. But you know the timing, right? The Most High wasn't going to let him do that before his word got out to really need to get to them. So that's why now they're coming out with this shit.
Right. Because everybody who's supposed to get it got it. You know, which are the most important people and who the elect.
Oh, that's small sanctuary. It's funny you said the earth groanings for the manifestation. You think about like what's happening now, actual in the physical like life of earth. You got whales bleaching themselves, you got birds dropping out, fish just dying. Like the earth is actually just like life is just killing itself. Because it's like, yo, this ain't like we can't live like this no more. And instead what? That the earth is giving into the hand of the wicked. So look at what the wicked did when I gave them authority in the earth. This is why I hate them. Like, look at what like the actual animals are killing themselves. That's a phenomenon. That's like an unstrange occurrence. Like you got animals just dropping, birds is flying out, just dying. Why is it normal for dolphins? I think I see some shit that like hundreds of dolphins were just on the beach, just beach themselves. Yeah, but that's what it is. Like the earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. Because what they said, why? Because you have broken the everlasting covenant. You have changed the ordinances. Like the order of the earth is changed. So it's like if the Lord created the earth to live, to be, an existing thing, you change that order to now everything is just definite.
So, you know how they used to make and then you would respond by saying, well, if it's natural, why don't you see it animals? But now recently they got a survey and apparently 10% of all sheep are gay.
Oh yeah.
Where did that shit come from? And that baffled everyone. I've been raising sheep all my whole life. I ain't never seen it. Where you getting this information from?
But you know what's funny? Majority of animals that, majority of like cattle that do homosexual behavior are the ones that are in captivity.
Yeah.
It's not the ones that are free and alive. It's the ones that are captive. And that's why being in captive is also adds to the curses. That's why you got our people in their worst condition mentally now here in Babylon, because this captivity has allowed them to do all of these things. They don't. That's why we had to be taken out of Egypt. That's why the Lord said it. Let my people go, so that let the people go. Let my people go, that they may go and serve me and sacrifice unto me. We need, in order to serve the Lord completely, we can't do this underneath anybody. We need actual sovereignty to be able to serve Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. And that's why, even though a lot of people that claim to be teachers, they're talking about having a kingdom here. You can't do that. You think Esau is going to allow you? In the Maccabees, it shows you that they made it a law that you couldn't call yourself a Jew. In Tychus, he literally said, if you kept the Sabbath, you're going to be killed. So now Esau, instead of coming overtly like that, he's like, I'm just going to make life this way. It's going to be like, well, you can't keep the Sabbath perfectly. Even if you wanted to, you couldn't even do it. They wanted to keep it. They knew how to keep it perfectly, and they had the means to keep it perfectly. But they just said, "What? You know what? If you do that, you're gonna die." Esau said, "Now, you know what? I ain't gonna kill you. I'm just gonna make you not be able to keep it. I'm not gonna be able. You gotta the clothes you get is gonna break the law. The food you eat is gonna break the law. The air you like, everything is gonna break the law just naturally. That's what life. That's the life I'm gonna create on earth now." That's why, Yahushua had to do what he did, because it was during that last generation, the Roman age, where Israel still had some type of sovereignty, So like, you could still keep the law during the time of Yahushua. You could do it physically, but then Yahushua also came and did it spiritually. But in this room, you can't even keep the law physically. So Yahushua could, but like, let's say for the setup of the movie, if Yahushua came in this age, it would be very hard for him to actually be perfect.
Yep. He would have been in jail.
Everybody, Yahushua was literally born now. His parents would have took him. Let's say straight out of birth. He would have got circumcised 2 or 3 days after he was born. For the Lord right there. He had nothing, couldn't even do nothing about it. You're supposed to be circumcised on the 8th day. Then Yahushua would be like, "Oh, that's not perfect lamb. It's not a perfect sacrifice."
I ain't thinking of it. There's no physical temple.
There's no
sacrifices. None of that.
None of those things would have been able to actually take place.
You would need to do a job. You need to work on the Sabbath.
All day long. Couldn't even keep the Passover. You couldn't even keep it back.
Lock them up. Killing the land, they'll lock them up.
You can't go to Jerusalem because we don't get to go over there. That's a part of the law. We're supposed to go over there 3 times a year.
You wouldn't be able to afford it.
Yep.
Who's in that land? Who's doing all this gay parade and all that shit over there? Like, man, just think about these things, man. And then we talk about it, and then we're the worst people in the world. We're just telling you facts. Whether you want to believe it or not, it's just the truth, man.
And it's spiritual, because right after Yahushua came, that's when Israel got kicked out of it.
I was just thinking that was the last time the temple was actually there.
That's it. That's when everything. The last time we actually had the ability to keep laws was when Yahushua was actually on earth.
And after he left, the siege and everything, that was it. And that's what, like you said, that's why the Lord took us out of Egypt, because he said, "I need to let my people go that they may serve me." We needed to be autonomous, right? So we needed to be more sovereign. That's why he got us out of there, got us up out of there, and took us to our own lands. He said, where we're going to be able to serve him there.
Ooh.
Right? And that's why we had to eliminate those Canaanites. And then really, ideally, the whole land of Israel should have just been us.
Right.
You know, but Israel wasn't able. Some they didn't do it, and some weren't able to take out all the heathens there.
Because that's when you can actually set up a law. You can't set up a law in another sovereign country.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why the Lord had to bring us to a wilderness where there was no actual laws or in cities that was set up. This is why I'm going to teach you the law here. Then I'm going to bring you to the land where you're going to actually establish this law. This is going to be the law. They say the law of the land. This is going to be the law of the land. You keep this inside of the nations. This is going to be your wisdom. You're going to be above all the other nations. Because that's what really makes a country great, right? It's its laws. It's how it conducts itself. But for us, we broke those laws in order for the ways for us to conduct ourselves, which we got from the actual heavens. That wasn't a law that was made from the earth. That wasn't a mind of people who came up together like, you know what, we should do this. This is good. No, this is bad. Nah, the Heavenly Father, through Yahweh Shai, came on the mountain, talking to Moses. Like, this is the law that we get from the Creator. Boom. This is how you want to serve. This is how your people, my children, my family is going to be conduct themselves on the earth. Govern. That's why Isaiah 9 it says the government of His government. You should be on the shoulders. Verse 21. Fourth verse. You can just keep. I know you started.
Revelation 21:1. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from the Most High, out of heaven.
So it said the first heaven and the first earth was passed away, meaning what? This type of life, this dominion, these things on the way that you know earth is now, that's not going to be no more. That's not going to be a thing. To see the nations, them having their dominion, them having any type of influence on the earth, that's going to be done away. Because if we go in Revelation 17, it says the seas are the people. So them, John seeing no more seas, not talking about there's not going to be no more water on the earth, but them having influence in the earth is not going to be a thing. You're not going to see a Moabite or a Japhite and like, all right, this person of, I got to go to this guy, for something. I got to go to this guy for my medicine. Right? You got to go to the doctor. It's a dentist. It's an Elamite. Yeah. No, you're not going. That's why I said this earth is created for many, but the world to come is for a few. Everything that is prosperous, that has prosperous, is going to come from Israel. We're not going to need to go to a heathen for. Oh, you have any? No, I gotta go Google some Eastern remedies, Eastern medicine remedies. Nah, that's all gonna be us. And if y'all do got something over there, bring that here. Our gates is open. Like you said, like the store is closed. Yeah. Nah, our store is never closed.
What's up?
Just bring that here. Run that shit.
Esau does that right now, but he does it with violence and deceit. You come in and say, hey, I'm taking over your shit. Hit him with some new weapons and, Mountain Dew, hit him with some military, whatever. We're not going to do that. We're going to be the powers of the earth. We're not going to do that. That's right. These nations going to be happy to give us what we want. Right. They're going to love to do that because they're going to be happy. Like, y'all
bless all them that bless me. Right. Esau don't bless these other nations. He curses them. And he makes it seem as though it's a blessing. Mm-hmm. He said his words were smoother than butter, the war was in his heart. And the Maccabees, that's the same thing Antiochus did. He came speaking peaceably. It said that in Daniel, he destroyed wonderfully. Mm-hmm. Like, how you do how you destroy it? It's amazement how you just destroyed this shit. I'm amazed at it. Like you think about in order to destroy the earth, you gotta be really a real good destroyer. Yeah. It's hard to mess up your crib. And you destroyed the whole entire earth.
Where you live at, you're going to just ruin it. It's like a pig, bro. That's some pigs, bro. They shit in their own habitat and lay in it and roll over in it like the term pig and shit.
It's not even and the funny part, the crazy part is not even where he's all at. Right. Like this part's where Esau is not at in the earth, but that part's destroyed too.
like the moon,
Yeah, the atmosphere, actual other lands, the oceans part. Like you just destroyed everything. Like you don't even be here. Like you don't even be here, but we destroyed that over here so bad. They just came over here.
You know how much work you got to put in to put whole species to extinction? This man brought murder hornets to America. They don't even belong here, and they started wiping out the honeybees. Because the honeybees over there are used to the murder hornets, so they have a defense mechanism where they all gather. You might have seen those videos where they all gather around the murder hornet, big hornet, and the bees all surrounded and they heat up to kill it. Yeah, the honeybees over here, they don't have that. So here comes this devil with the murder hornet or whatever Moabite, maybe they brought it on a vessel and it was a nest and it probably flew into America, whatever it was, and then you got everything upside down, man.
Oh, you got the lantern flies, but they made a whole thing. I seen the TikTok. It was like, yo, have you noticed that the whole entire government just made us at war? Where we didn't even realize. Like with the whole lantern flies, they keep like a whole propaganda. See them, kill them. Kill every lantern fly. Like this is how you kill. Like yo, we just made humanity just like war with lantern flies right now. But it's like, wait, them niggas, they're not doing nothing. Like they're not coming over here like, yo, we hate y'all. They just here, but why are they here? Now you're saying it's because of the what's it called? Climate change, global warming, and all that shit. But it's like, all right, if that's actually happening, right? Let's say, why is that happening? So we just talked about before. Earth been around for thousands of years. They ain't never had to deal with nothing like this. You've been in rulership for what, a few hundred years, and now you got to deal with global warming. You got beasts. Because a blandfly technically is a beast, it's cat, whatever insect, but it's changing its place. And now you're saying that yo, we got to kill it. But if this is actually a living thing that lives somewhere else, and it doesn't destroy that environment, why are you saying it's going to destroy this environment? So who's really the destroyer? You're the actual one that's just like, oh, we just gotta kill it. Kill that. I don't want to kill it. Hey, he's literally the harbinger of death, the son of perdition. You didn't say, oh, you know what, we got to find out if we can adapt our society and nature so that these things can actually live and grow. Because everything has a use. Lanternfly could probably be useful over here. Remember, they said there was before Esau got here, you had lions there, roaming in the actual in America. You had wild actors, you had tigers. Like you won't ever catch a lion in America. A free lion at that. You go to a Bronx Zoo.
Yeah, like it's in captivity. Like everything's in captivity. Go to the free nature, go grab animals and bring them to captivity just so you can make money off the people coming to watch it. You know, like
Yo, Esau's such a demon. Let's say let's say there was like actual life on other planets. Instead of actually helping that alien go back there, they're gonna put him in captivity. Put him in captivity and study him. You know, and pick him apart and say, show you that in me and dissect him. Show that in movies all the time. That's not what he would literally do. He wouldn't be like, yo, let's try to get you back to where you gotta go. You lost. And they tell you that, right? Good Samaritan? You wanna get back home? Nah. Put him in captivity. It's like, put him in, stretch him out, open his mouth. Boil him. Dice with biosite, like alien steaks. Yeah, like yo, they're trying to taste him. Is he edible? Like, yo, you're crazy, yo. You're a fucking wild beast.
I'm sure they'll come back too. So
You won't. They got movies where they're trying to make it to where they can do surgery and you won't even feel it. Like be alive, like be awake. Now they do it where they put you to sleep. But they're trying to say that they're trying to have technology now, but it'll be so micro nanotype that you wouldn't even feel the surgery actually happening. They just go into you.
that's what they see. Because then you're bypassing the mechanism that the Lord put. That's a defense mechanism. If you feel pain, that means whatever is happening needs to stop.
Yeah, so they mess something up.
You're not gonna know. You know?
You're just gonna feel the effects.
You're just gonna be dead.
Yeah,
he ain't sleep, he dead.
Hey, but we seen Esau in his worst state now. You know, just like now we're coming into our true spirit. He's also because he's worse now than he was as the Romans and the Greeks. You know,
And at the end of everything is always at the worst. That's how
it is. That is manifest.
I said that knowledge should be increased, right? But Esau's knowledge is perverted. Isaiah 47 says that knowledge and wisdom has perverted. So your knowledge or the wisdom of the foolish is not wisdom. They say something. I think it's like a Sirach, something like that. So his wisdom, it actually only from, like you said, from the Greeks and Romans. He claims that he progressed. But what did you actually progress in? You progressed in wickedness and death. You just found more ways to kill, to destroy things. That's what your wisdom actually is. It's just finding more ways to die. More ways to die. And the Most High is the God of the living. Remember, once again, we're gods. So death is literally our enemy. That's why Yahweh Shah said he defeated the last enemy, which is death. Death is actually our enemy. And Esau, he was like, I got mad ways to die here. Come holler at my house. Come to my crib. I'll show you how. I'll show you how about this, how you die. That. And pick your poison.
They got a
sorcery.
They got a TV show for 1,000 Ways to Die.
Right? Yep.
Revelation 21:2. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of the Most High is with men.
Hey, the dwelling place, right? We're coming into the Feast of Tabernacles, right? And the tabernacle is a temporary dwelling place. It's not an actual, like, a whole house. It's something that's moving, right? That's why we have the Feast of Tabernacles. It was in the wilderness. Because that wasn't our actual abode. That's where we want to actually stay at. So the Lord said the tabernacle of the Most High is meant. Because the Lord is actually going to be with us. But that's not his permanent, like, he's everywhere. You know, even us being in vessels of the immortals, we're not even going to be enough just to contain the Lord. The Lord's still going to be everywhere. But that's why he's going to make us replicate it so much. That's why we're going to actually be immortals. And the house of Israel is going to go on forever because we're going to fill up his mansion. So we will literally be the Most High everywhere. Right. In us. Yeah. We're the image of him. Everywhere, just the images of Yahweh.
And he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and the Most High himself shall be with them and be their God.
The Most High himself shall be with them. In my Father's house, there are many mansions. You want to fill up his crib. And the other nations are there to witness. You said, you are my witnesses. They are to witness what God is. Because John the 3rd chapter, we read it, but I just quoted. It said that what we don't know how we shall appear, but we shall be like him. But we shall see him as he is. And in the NLT it says we shall see him as he really is, which is the Son of God. So we're going to be like him. We're going to be sons of God. So the world is actually going to see us as we really are. These other nations, they're going to say like, oh, these are the sons of Yasharala. You see the Israelis calling themselves that now, which why they even had to change it. They couldn't even say Israelite, Israelis. But they don't represent what a son of God looks like. Like that's the son of God. You're the chosen people of the Creator. You can't even reproduce properly. You gotta go to clinics. You literally gotta go to clinics to actually take. Your women gotta take some type of like medicines to help their fertilization, man. Oh yeah. So if you can't even reproduce properly, and the first law the Lord said, "Well, go reproduce and multiply." Yeah. You can't even do that.
You gotta try not to.
Right. Oh yeah, NLT. Yeah. All right, let me finish up 4, and then we'll get that. So yo, chill. Y'all they said what? Y'all lively people.
Yeah. Too lively.
We can't help but to be lively because the Most High is alive. Yeah. Slow it down.
Revelation 21:4. And the Most High shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away.
Yep. They said there should be no more death. We're no longer subjugated to being a mere mortal or being just a regular man in the flesh. That's not what it is no more. We had to experience it. That was the fall. The fall of Adam. You know, we had to experience what it was to die like men. And boy, what a horrible experience this was. This was a fucking horrible ass experience. It's like you know, like yeah, you gotta really just follow the Lord, like follow His ways. And remember, we got this mind now, right? The Lord gonna have to do away with the rest of the nation, the wicked, because they don't have that money. And it's gonna be through us that He's gonna just make that what it is now. Because we now know, like, we got the message. That's what the Lord had mercy on us for, because we got the actual message of the punishment. That's why He said the punishment of thy iniquity is accomplished. We understood. Because that's when you have children, when you get a punishment, you get really put to you get out of punishment once you get the message. Once you're like, all right, do you understand? All right, got it? You know? Yeah, I get it. I'm sorry. That's when you're all right, your punishment is done. Even in prison, people get released early to say rehabilitation, good behavior. You get released early, right? On good behavior. But if you was a nigga in prison in the world and you a nigga in prison, you ain't gonna get out. Yeah, that's why even if they let you out, you go right back in. Like, oh, you just still a nigga, you're gonna go back in there. You got niggas that kill in prison, and they in prison for murder. Yep.
And that's great. That's spiritual too, because that's like all of us at one point before we found out about the truth, we were all living a simple life, like it tells in the book of Ephesians. The Apostle Paul was saying that, that we at one point were living in life of darkness, and now we found the light. So the Lord